arms from Duratic sphere through Duratic cords to pool into Duratic balls at palm chakras. The karmic miasmic imprint. Karma, identity, the Christos and the physics of divine right order. When an identity enters the time matrix to begin simultaneous cycles of evolution through time, it enters the manifest fields through first adopting a manifestation template composed of partiki units and scalar waves. The first manifestation template is called the Rishik shield. It exists at the antimatter scalar wave level of density 5 and holds the complete primal scalar pattern for all of the singular identities that will simultaneously manifest into incarnation within the lower dimensional densities and time cycles. The Rishik shield represents the identity gestalt or family of consciousness through which identity enters manifestation. The Rishik shield carries the precise configuration of scalar wave patterns, the primal order of energetic substances, through which the consciousness individuated to form a collective of consciousness within the dimensionalized time matrix. Every individual incarnate from the Rishik family of consciousness in time carries, as part of its core kathara grid scalar program, the electromagnetic energy signature of primal order carried by the Rishik shield through which it manifested. The scalar wave design of the Rishik shield represents divine right order, the primal order of scalar wave energetic relationship and partiki phasing sequences that individual identities in time must re-evolve to hold within their embodied manifestation templates, in order to regain freedom from the dimensional systems of the time matrix. Consciousness from the Rishik shield, in the form of omnipolar wave spectra, enters the manifest densities by projecting portions of itself into smaller consciousness gestalts within the lower dimensional fields. The smaller gestalts of consciousness form the three-dimensional scalar shield of the identity within the dimensionalized matter system. Each scalar shield holds the consciousness of numerous simultaneous cycles of incarnation within each of the four primary time cycles of densities 1 through 4. Each individual incarnate in time is directly linked to its original Rishik shield family of consciousness through the density for Maharic shield. The Maharic shield of dimensions 10 to 12 contains the first pre-matter hydroplasmic scalar wave spectra through which identity began its experience within the holograms of space, time and matter. The personal Maharic shield, often called the personal Christos imprint, holds the original primal order of scalar waves through which manifest consciousness links to its Rishik shield. The Christos imprint of the Maharic shield represents the path of divine right order through which each individual consciousness in time can re-evolve to its original eternal non-manifest state of wholeness in consciousness beyond the time matrix. Divine right order is not only a spiritual concept, it is a reality in energy within the scientific dynamics of universal unified field physics. Divine right order represents the primal order of scalar waves that make up the original manifestation template from which individual singular lifetimes emerge, and it is the necessary pattern of energetic order within the personal multidimensional manifestation template which allows incarnate beings to fulfill the evolutionary objective of transmutational dimensional ascension. The result of an incarnate being's manifestation template and conscious awareness becoming misaligned with the energetic structure of divine right order is called karma. Karma, divine right order, the scalar shields, will and miasms. 2. It is understood that the universe and all things within it exist as manifestations of consciousness, in the form of precisely ordered scalar wave arrangements, and that there is an intrinsic and indelible primal order upon which all manifestation functions. It will not be difficult to conceptualize the literal and tangible nature of the karmic imprint. In energetic terms, divine right order represents the natural alignment of conscious energy fields within the intrinsic laws of universal physics characteristic to the dimensional structures of time. Divine right order exists as a tangible, specific and harmonious organization of energy interrelationships within the primal order of energetic structure that creates dimensionality. The condition frequently referred to as karma is, like divine right order, a tangible, specific organization of energy interrelationships. Unlike divine right order, Karma represents disharmonious interrelationships of energy within the context of the primal order that creates dimensionality. Karma can be viewed as chaotic, incoherent energetic disorganization, whereas order represents coherent energetic organization. In terms of the 15-dimensional anatomy of the personal manifestation template, the karmic pattern represents areas of incoherent energetic disorganization within the structure of the personal scalar shields. The 12th dimensional level of the personal Maharic shield holds the original Christos imprint, the primal order perfect organization of scalar wave configurations that links our consciousness and DNA template to the Rishik shield family of consciousness through which we entered the time matrix. While the Maharic shield holds our original perfect organization of consciousness, the scalar shields, upon which our lower dimensional uva bodies and incarnate, soul and oversoul manifestation cycle, emerge, often become distorted from their original primal order as held within the Maharic and Rishik shields. Human consciousness, in its multidimensional forms, was designed in the image of its creator, having free will to apply the dynamics of energetic creation in time in accordance with personal intention, within the great context of the fixed natural energetic laws of creation. When we use our gift of free will to direct our energies in a manner congruent with the divine right order of universal unified field physics, which implies co-creative, non-competitive co-evolution for all, the scalar wave design of our personal scalar shields remains organized upon the intrinsic design of universal and personal primal order. Through embodiment of divine right order within our personal scalar shields and consciousness, we know conditions of perfect health and harmony within the time matrix. When our free will is used to direct our energies in ways that are incongruent with and non-supportive of primal order, the disorganization of our energetic orientation manifests as literal partiki phasing sequence distortions that create misshapen scalar wave groupings within the anatomy of the personal kathara grid, scalar shields and the DNA template built upon them. These misshapen scalar wave groupings within the kathara grid, scalar shields and DNA template are called miasms and they hold intangible scalar frequency form. The disorganized energetic patterns of our free will choices through which we have used our energies in a manner incongruent with divine right order. Miasms are the tangible substance of our karmic pattern that reflect the areas in which our consciousness and scalar shields are distorted from our original Maharic shield Christos imprint of perfect organization, within the context of universal primal order. Time vectors and the karmic miasmic imprint. The miasmic imprint within the body and manifestation template that holds the personal karmic pattern manifests as mathematical, geometrical, and electromagnetic distortion in scalar wave forms within the kathara grid and scalar shields that cause groupings of antiparticles to build up within the particle field of the physical and energetic anatomy. The buildup of antiparticles within the particle field blocks the natural flow of energy and consciousness through the kathara level 3 diotic points grid, and manifests as malfunctions within the partiki phasing programs within the kathara centers of the level 112 tree grid and within the signet star crystal seals of the kathara level 2 crystal seals grid. The 3 levels of the kathara grid set the blueprint for manifestation of the scalar shields, uva bodies, chakra system and DNA template. Miasmic distortions in the kathara grid affect every level of personal manifestation, from the operation of the physical genetic code to the ability of consciousness to successfully embody within the physical form, to the potentials of transmutational dimensional ascension and attainment of spiritual actualization. Karma, the miasmic imprint, is a biophysical phenomenon of scalar wave distortion that directly affects the human DNA. The incarnations of self that simultaneously manifest into incarnational cycles of divergent spacetime placement, within the 4 densities and 12 dimensions of matter, are all directly interconnected through the kathara grid, scalar shields and DNA template. The free will choices made by other manifestations of ourselves concurrently existing in other space-time locations and different manifest body forms, affect the function of our personal kathara grid, DNA template, conscious awareness, and life experience. The choices we make in our present lifetime directly affect the kathara grid, DNA template, consciousness and life experience of our other time incarnations. The energetic connection between incarnations of the self is an immediate, living connection of energy and consciousness. Because our numerous simultaneous incarnations in time are directly, energetically linked to each other via the kathara grid and DNA template, we literally inherit miasmic buildup from each other on a continual basis. When we make the choice to restore our personal imprint for health, our Christos imprint as held within our Maharic shield, part of these efforts must involve clearing the miasmic imprint that is bleeding through into our personal manifestation template from the other incarnations of self. Each of our simultaneous incarnations in time represents one single vector consciousness, one portion of our eternal identity that experiences three-dimensional linear evolutionary progression along one time vector, one cycle of partiki phasing sequences. Each incarnate represents a time vector. The multiple time vectors of our multiple simultaneous selves are literally encoded within core scalar wave programs of our DNA template. This is called vector embedding. To fully heal our body-mind-spirit system by restoring it to its organic imprint for health, the Maharic Shield Christos imprint, we need to clear the miasmic imprint from our other simultaneous incarnations as it is presently embedded within our DNA template. Transmuting the miasmic imprint that is embedded in our DNA template to restore the original perfect primal order is called clearing the karmic pattern or multi-vector holographic recoding. Regenesis of personal Christos, restoring the organic imprint for health. And clearing the karmic miasmic imprint. Literally all conditions of disease in the human body and disharmony in the life experience, including the unnatural condition of death of the human body form, result from miasmic distortions within the embodied kathara grid, scalar shields, DNA template and personal inner Templar complex. The natural state of universal primal order is harmonious co-creative interrelationship of consciousness. Humans can progressively return to their natural condition of ordered perfection through regenesis, or recreation, of the organic imprint for health, the Maharic Shield Christos imprint, within the kathara grid blueprint of the personal manifestation template. Rareness of the personal Christos is a multi-vector endeavor, involving clearing the karmic miasmic imprint from a myriad of various simultaneous selves presently evolving in the time matrix. The hard way to clear the miasmic imprint is by walking the karma, which means allowing progressive levels of the miasmic imprint to repeatedly re-manifest in the personal life experience, until the proper applications of free will choice used in congruence with divine right order becomes consciously apparent and the right choices are made to reorder the disorganized use of energy that caused the miasm to form. In our present time, this approach to clearing the karmic pattern is no longer effective as a learning tool by which embodied consciousness teaches itself the etiquette of creation. The miasmic imprint within the collective human species has grown so extensively that the core issues of misapplied free will that cause miasmic buildup can no longer be consciously identified, and the miasmic imprint continues to compound and amplify itself as the same errors of free will energy use are perpetually repeated and reinforced. The karmic miasmic imprint is an energy form, a literal construct of scalar wave frequency with its corresponding antiparticle manifestation. As a form of energy, the miasmic imprint can be dealt with as energy, for the most expedient clearing, healing and realignment of the karmic imprint. The karmic miasmic imprint manifests within the causal level of manifestation, the three levels of the embodied kathara grid of the personal internal Templar complex, and from the kathara level the karmic miasmic imprint manifests as misalignment and malfunction within all levels of the body-mind-spirit system. To clear the karmic imprint as energy, its disorganized scalar frequency patterns must be realigned from the core template kathara grids, the causal level of miasmic manifestation. Restoring the Maharic Shield Christos imprint to the personal kathara grid lakes time and precise applications of frequency reordering in all levels of the body-mind-spirit system. The first step to regenesis of the personal Christos is the Maharic recoding process. Recoding the time vectors of the DNA template and the DNA fire codes. The process of regenerating the Christos imprint within the kathara grid of the human body is a multi-vector undertaking. A vector is a set cycle of vibrational oscillation rhythm that creates a specific repeating partiki phasing rhythm and flash line sequence. Each individual incarnate self in time holds within the electromagnetic programs of its embodied kathara centers the precise partiki phasing rhythms that correspond to its particular placement within the planetary time cycles. The time vector, or flash line sequence, that creates one linear event horizon, is literally encoded and actively operational within the kathara grid and DNA template of each incarnate identity. In the process of restoring the organic integrity to the personal manifestation template, the dormant partiki phasing rhythms that correspond to one's other time incarnates are progressively brought into activation and realigned with the Christos imprint of the Maharic shield. The partiki phasing flash line sequence programs within the embodied kathara centers manifest within the DNA template as the genetic time codes, or fire codes, of the DNA. In restoring Maharic order to the personal kathara grid, the 12 dormant fire codes of the DNA template will be slowly but progressively brought into activation through the 11th to 12th dimensional frequencies of the Maharic shield Mahara Ova body current. Activation of the DNA fire codes creates a reciprocal release of the signet star crystal seals and cranial sacral kundalini seals within the kathara level 2 crystal seals grid, progressive activation of the dormant kundalini energies and Merkaba vehicle phases, merger of the Uva bodies and embodiment of the higher dimensional spiritual aspects of conscious awareness. The process of recoding the multiple time vectors within the DNA template multi-vector holographic recoding is a process of progressive whole-being healing that is achieved through consistent application of the Maharic recoding process, and expedited through complementary processes of DNA template, Kundalini, and Merkaba vehicle activation. Level 1 Kathara healing introduces the operational mechanics of the Maharic recoding progress. The 4 elements of action. 1. The Maharic seal and the liquid light cleanse, technique 2. 2. Opening the healing channels, technique 3. 3. Amplifying inner audiovisual and kathara scan, technique 4. 4. The Maharic infusion, technique 5. The 4 primary elements of action to begin the Maharic recoding process, through which multi-vector holographic recoding of the morphogenetic field manifestation template is achieved, begins realignment of the core manifestation template kathara grid levels, the scalar shields, Ova bodies, axiotonal lines and DNA template with the primal order perfect scalar wave pattern of the personal 12th dimensional pre-matter hydroplasmic Maharic shield, the Christos imprint and organic imprint 4. Health. Also begins activation of dormant DNA strand templates, Kundalini energies and the Merkaba vehicle for transmutational dimensional ascension. Technique 4, amplifying inner audio visual and kathara scan. 1. Place right palm, electrical transmitting hand, over the 5th kathara center at the navel, and place the left palm, magnetic receiving hand, over the back of the right hand, to block third dimensional energies from entering the rear of the right hand chakra. Inhale energy from your Maharic shield, the Maharic carrier wave, into your Duratic sphere at the 4th heart chakra. Exhale and run the Maharic wave down the Duratic cords in the arms and into the Duratic balls in the palms. Inhale, then exhale, using the exhale breath to push energy from the Duratic sphere, down the Duratic cord in the right arm, through the right Duratic ball and into the 5th kathara center at the navel. Run several breaths of Duratic 1 current into the 5th kathara center at the navel, until a mild tingling sensation is felt. 2. Place the left palm over the 5th chakra at the throat, with the right palm covering the back of the left hand, and inhale the Duratic 1 current up from the 5th kathara center at the navel, into the center of the 5-inch chakra. Exhale and expand the Duratic 1 frequency into the 5th chakra spiral, allowing the magnetic current from the left hand to draw the energy out through the spiral. As you exhale, slowly move the hands forward, away from the body in the 5th chakra. 3. Repeat the same process over the 6th kathara center, placing the right palm over the 6th kathara center below the right shoulder, with the left palm covering the back of the right hand. Inhale energy up from the Maharic shield, into the Duratic sphere. Exhale energy down the Duratic cords into the Duratic balls. Inhale, then exhale energy down the right Duratic cord through the right palm and into Kathara Center 6. Run several breaths to energize the 6th Kathara Center. Then move left palm over the 6th third eye chakra in the forehead, with right palm behind. Inhale the Duratic 1 current from the 6th Kathara Center into the center of the 6th chakra and exhale the energy into the 6th chakra spiral while drawing it through with the magnetic current from the left hand. The 6th sense Adurya, which provides inner audio perception, and the 7th sense Tristet, which provides inner visual perception, are now energized and amplified in preparation for Kathara scan. 4. Close your eyes and focus your attention in a single point on the inside of your forehead. Inhale, and as you exhale run your attention outward through your 6th chakra spiral, into the 6th chakra spiral of your client. Move your attention into the center of your client's brain, the pineal gland. Inhale, and exhale moving your awareness down from the client's pineal, through your client's central body current and down into the Earth's core. Inhale and move your awareness back upward to your client's Maharic shield, and spread your awareness outward through the Maharic shield with the exhale. On the inside of your forehead, imagine the image of the Kathara 12 tree grid. Inhale energy from the client's Maharic shield and exhale the energy out into the 12 tree image. Breathe gently for a moment, observing the 12 tree grid, which will register tones of white, black and ranges of gray in between. If you cannot yet visualize, you will still get a sense of the 12 tree image and the areas of dark and light within it. The dark areas represent layers of the miasmic body, areas of the karmic imprint that need clearing when you run Technique 4, the Maharic infusion. Remember the areas of the client's Kathara that need clearing. Inhale, and open your eyes on exhale. Technique 4, amplifying inner audio visual and Kathara scan. Activate Maharic seal and open healing channels, Technique 2 and 3 first. 1. Right palm on 5th Kathara center, in navel. Breathe Maharic current up from personal Maharic shield and into Duratic sphere at 4th chakra. Push Maharic Duratic 1 current down Duratic cords and into Duratic balls at palm chakras. Push current from Duratic ball in right palm into Kathara center 5, in navel. 2. Left palm on 5th throat chakra, cover back with right palm, reverse standard hand position. Inhale Duratic 1 current up from 5th Kathara center, in navel, to center of 5th throat chakra and expand current into 5th chakra spiral, with left palm chakra drawing current out of the 5th chakra spiral. 3. Right palm on Kathara center 6, below right shoulder, cover back with left palm. Push Maharic Duratic 1 current from Duratic ball in right palm into Kathara center 6. Left palm over 6th, third eye chakra, cover back with right palm, reverse standard hand position. Inhale Duratic L current up from Kathara center 6 to center of 6th, third eye chakra and expand current into 6th chakra spiral, with left palm chakra drawing current out of 6th chakra spiral. U4. Kathara client scan. A. Place point of attention inside forehead and run attention out of 6th chakra spiral and into the 6th chakra spiral of client, then into client's pineal gland. B. Run attention down client's central vertical current and into Earth's core, then back up to client's Maharic shield. Expand attention out into client's Maharic shield. C. Visualize image of Kathara 12 tree grid. Inhale energy from client's Maharic shield and exhale it into image of Kathara grid. D. Observe for dark miasmic buildups in image of Kathara grid. Run extra healing current into these areas of the client's Kathara grid during the Maharic infusion. Technique 5, the Maharic infusion, client facilitation. Prior to using this technique, you should have completed the following. 1. Positioned mentor over your right shoulder to assist. Technique 1. Awakening the mentor and the 6th and 7th senses. 2. Activated your Maharic shield, Maharic seal, and run the liquid light, which is Technique 2. The Maharic seal and the liquid light cleanse. 3. Activated your Duratic current, inner audio-visual and client kathara scan, Technique 3 and 4. 4. Opened the kathara lines for you and your client, sequence 1 kathara points. Place client in reclining position with shoes off. Now we are starting the technique steps. 1. Position yourself at the feet of the reclining client. Place right palm 12 foot below client's feet at the Maharic shield, left palm over the back of right hand. 2. Visualize the Hierophant symbol on the inside of your forehead. Inhale, then exhale, moving the Hierophant down to chakra 4 and into the Duratic sphere with the exhale breath. Inhale energy upward from your Maharic shield and into the Duratic sphere. Exhale the Hierophant with Duratic 1 current down the right Duratic cord and into the Duratic ball in the right palm. 3. Inhale, then exhale the Hierophant and Duratic 1 current into the center of the client's Maharic shield. Visualize the Hierophant spinning in the center of the client's Maharic shield until you sense a mild shift in the energy below the client's feet. The shift indicates that the client's Maharic shield has activated and the Maharic pillar has popped vertically upward from the shield. The client's bioenergetic field now carries the Maharic seal. 4. Inhale energy from your Maharic shield into your Duratic sphere, then exhale the energy down both Duratic cords, into the Duratic balls in the palms. Visualize the 12-tree kathara grid within the client's body. You will now run the Maharic infusion through the small chakra points in the feet. Technique 5 continued, the Maharic infusion. 5. Place your right palm about 1 inch in client's etheric field, from the bottom of the client's left foot and your left palm about 1 in client's etheric field, above the top of the foot, centered over your right palm. Imagine that you are lining up the small vortex beneath the ball of the client's foot, which extends through the foot to come out on top, with the small chakras in your palms. Inhale, then exhale energy from your Duratic sphere through the right Duratic cord, right palm, and into the sole of the client's fool. Visualize the green-violet-silver energy traveling up the kathara line on the left side of the body, through the 4th, 7th and 11th kathara centers. Continue exhaling energy into the left foot until you begin to feel a bit of fuzzy energy coming out of the foot toward your palm. This indicates that the kathara line has reached its energy holding capacity. Repeat the process on the right foot, running energy through the kathara line on the right side of the body and the 3rd, 6th and 9th kathara centers. 6. You will now clear and align the central vertical kathara line to complete the Maharic infusion. Move to the client's head. Place right palm over the client's 10th chakra, 6 above the head, the location of the 12th kathara center. Place your left palm over the back of your right hand. Inhale energy from your Maharic shield into your Duratic sphere, then exhale energy down the right Duratic cord, into the right palm and through the 10th chakra. Visualize the energy moving down from the 10th chakra into the 7th chakra, to the pineal gland, 11th kathara center, then rapidly down the central body current and central kathara line, through kathara centers 8, thyroid, 5, navel, 2, at base chakra, and into kathara center 1 at earth's core. Continue exhaling energy into the 10th chakra and central kathara line until you feel fuzziness against your right palm, indicating that the kathara grid has reached its energy holding capacity. 7. Before releasing the 10th chakra, direct a bit of additional energy through the central kathara line into areas that revealed dark spots during the kathara scan. Visualize the areas getting light as the energy runs through them. You may add other healing modalities at this point, if desired. Close by using the sequence 2 kathara points to close the kathara lines and revitalize the body. Allow client a few moments to recline before ending session. The Maharic Infusion, Client Facilitation. Place client in reclining position with shoes off. 1. Stand at client's feet. Feel. Place right palm 12-inch below client's feel at client's Maharic shield, left palm over back of right hand. 2. See Hierophant symbol code inside your forehead. Exhale symbol down to chakra for Duratic sphere. Inhale energy up from your Maharic shield into Duratic sphere. Exhale Hierophant symbol with Duratic 1 current down right Duratic cord into right Duratic ball in right palm. 3. Exhale Duratic 1 current and Hierophant symbol into center of client, Maharic shield via right palm Duratic ball and spin Hierophant until sensed energy shift of client, Maharic seal. 4. Inhale current from your Maharic shield to Duratic sphere and exhale current down both Duratic cords into Duratic ball. See Kathara 12-tree grid within client's body and begin running the Maharic infusion through the secondary chakra. In client's feet. 5. Right palm about 1 inch in client's etheric field, above the bottom of client's left foot, left palm about 1 in client's etheric field, above top of client's left foot, both centered over client's left foot secondary chakra. Inhale Maharic energy into Duratic sphere and exhale Duratic 1 current into client's left Kathara line, and through Kathara centers 4, 7, and 10. Exhale Duratic 1 current into client's left foot until fuzzy resistance emerges from client's foot chakra. Repeat process on client's right foot, running Duratic 1 current through the right Kathara line and Kathara centers 3, 6, and 9. 6. Stand at client's head. Right palm over client's 10th chakra, 6-inch above head, the 12th Kathara center, left palm over back of right hand. Fill Duratic sphere with Maharic energy, then exhale Duratic 1 current down right Duratic cord and palm and into client's 10th chakra. Run current from chakra 10 to crown chakra 7, pineal gland, rapidly down central vertical current and Kathara centers 8, thyroid, 5, navel, 2, chakra 1, and 11, earth's core chakra 13. Continue exhaling current until fuzzy resistance emerges from client's 10 chakra. 7. Direct additional energy through client's central Kathara line to clear dark areas of Kathara grid located in Kathara scan. Add any additional healing technologies following client's Maharic infusion. Close with sequence 2 Kathara points massage. Allow client to remain relaxed in reclining position for several minutes following Maharic infusion. Attitudes and etiquette in healing, motivation to heal. Healing facilitation is an art and a science, but, most importantly, healing facilitation is an interrelationship of souls. Egotistical objectives have no place in quality healing facilitation. The decision to participate in healing facilitation should not be motivated by a desire to prove you have special abilities to boast about, nor with the primary motive of gaining financial profit from healing facilitation endeavors. The energies exchanged in healing facilitation are free to all, a divine gift from the universe, and they belong to all beings equally. A facilitator cannot rightly request payment from a client for providing what the client already possesses, natural healing energies. In divine order, it is appropriate for the facilitator to accept payment for the personal time and energies invested in learning and developing facilitation skills, and for the time spent in active facilitation. It is important that the facilitator understand this subtle difference of fair exchange of energy. If the facilitator mistakenly assumes they are requesting payment for healing energies they supply, they are inadvertently misrepresenting themselves to the client. The client possesses personal healing energies and does not need to purchase such energies from others. The time and expertise offered by the facilitator to assist the client in stimulating their own healing energies is a service worthy of reciprocation. If a client chooses such assistance, the facilitator has the legitimate right to honor their own worth as a being by requesting reasonable payment or barter in fair energetic exchange for the service they offer. However, if a client is in need of healing facilitation and has no means of fair exchange at that time, the facilitator should honor the worth of the client by providing assistance of equal value free of charge. In spiritual principle, making money is not a legitimate motivation for participating in healing facilitation. Seeking to find one's personal divine right livelihood in sincere service to others, which might possibly involve providing client service in healing facilitation, is a spiritually legitimate motivation. Healing facilitators will discover that when they put the objective of genuine service to the divine as the first priority, rather than the pursuit of personal monies or status, the universe will provide. Facilitators who enter the healing field with hidden personal motivations incongruent with universal laws of energy, which imply equality, respect, reverence, and balanced exchange of energy between all beings, will find difficulties emerging in their lives as the personal soul sets up lessons through which universal principles become more apparent. There is only one true motivation for participation in healing facilitation. The motive is love. Postures of love, the energy reality of love. In terms of universal physics, love is an energy reality, a state of vibrational harmonization, or coresonance of frequency that allows an energetic bridge to build between individuals. It is through this energetic bridge of frequency that one can assist in running healing energies that will facilitate the healing process of others. Without the sentiment and frequency of genuine love, one cannot energetically facilitate the healing of another. Love is the essential ingredient in healing, for it allows the opening of facilitator and clients' bioenergetic fields to the universal frequencies of the interdimensional spectrum. Cultivating the ability to embrace and hold the frequencies of universal or omni-love is the responsibility of any true healing facilitator. The emotionally experienced reality of the frequency of love takes many forms. In healing facilitation, it is important to assess the most appropriate form of love to engage with each individual client. Soft love. Many people respond well to soft love, the kind, gentle, nurturing, soothing love often displayed by mothers comforting their infants. Soft love works well with clients who possess some degree of spiritual maturity and who have cultivated the ability to hold some degree of a love frequency within themselves. Soft love is the appropriate form of love for clients possessing the maturity to accept personal responsibility for themselves, their actions and their emotional reaction patterns, and who do not attempt to manipulate, drain energies from or place blame on others. Soft love is characterized by engaged detachment of the facilitator and is demonstrated through soft-spoken, calm and sincere words and actions that are intended to place the client at ease. Soft love is always built upon sincerity, kindness, respect, and a genuine desire to see the client thrive and prosper. Developing the ability to carry the soft love frequency takes time, attention, and practice, and requires that the facilitator works to heal personal internal conflicts, unresolved issues from childhood and karmic reaction patterns that disrupt the soft love vibration. Soft love is a vulnerable love in that it necessitates one to show the self as it is, honestly expressing personal feelings tempered with kindness. Soft love is not approval-seeking, it is rather genuine, honest, and self-generated. Soft love requires love and respect of the self and others mutually. It is built upon a level of spiritual maturity in which it is understood that personal value is implied by the fact of existence and is not determined by the approval or validation of others outside of the self and the personal relationship to the divine. The ability to carry the soft love frequency emerges through spiritual integration, personal healing of internal conflicts and power struggle issues, and intentional application of kindness and mindfulness. Tough love. Soft love does not facilitate healing on all occasions. Certain clients who come to a facilitator for healing assistance bring with them a great need for emotional healing and development of spiritual maturity. They may demonstrate demanding, arrogant, or pushy attitudes and refuse to accept responsibility for their personal actions and resulting consequences. Most often such individuals carry deep wounds from childhood or from reincarnational bleed-through. Because they are wounded within, they have not yet developed the self-control or maturity necessary to treat themselves or others with kindness, respect, or love. Individuals who display unreasonable behaviors or attitudes pose quite a challenge to the love-based healing facilitator. If they are approached with soft love, the facilitator will often find themselves as a scapegoat for the individual's personal problems, may have their energies and time excessively drained by such clients, and might possibly be subjected to outright verbal or physical abuse. Clients exhibiting such personality traits are struggling within themselves to gain control over the various conflicting portions of their personal energies, and they tend to objectify this internal conflict resolution in the form of power struggle with others. Personalities trapped within cycles of subconscious self or other abusive attitude patterns need love more than anyone, but most often their behaviors push others away. Intrinsically, the behaviors serve to keep the individual sheltered from self-exposure. They do not allow others close enough to inspire feelings of vulnerability or lack of self-esteem. Often such personality traits effectively keep the individual from seeing themselves and the inner pain and conflict from which they attempt to hide. To facilitate healing in such individuals, without succumbing to their manipulation, aggression, or abuse, requires that the facilitator adopt a posture of tough love. In tough love, the facilitator clearly establishes personal boundaries in their own mind as to what treatment they will and will not accept. If the client crosses those boundaries, the facilitator assertively addresses the issue with the client, requests that the offensive behavior cease, and provides clear consequences as to what will occur if the offense continues. The tough love approach is rendered from a base of soft love and omni-love, but it is strengthened with self-love on behalf of the facilitator. The facilitator recognizes that they are only assisting the client to continue with the self-destructive patterns by condoning or allowing offensive behavior, and chooses to love the client enough to confront the pattern so that it may begin to release. In lovingly, calmly, but firmly confronting poor behavior and setting clear boundaries and consequences, the facilitator assists such clients to temporarily find a new pattern of action because the old one does not work for manipulation in this instance. The tough love approach frequently requires facilitators to demonstrate that they hold their own power, even in the face of client disapproval. Tough love is an ability of personal empowerment worth cultivating for personal and client healing. Self-love. In healing facilitation, love is the essential ingredient. All love begins with the divinity within the self. You will be able to transmit the frequency of love to others in direct proportion to your ability to hold the frequency of love within yourself. If you do not recognize your intrinsic value as a divine being, and seek validation of your existence through external sources such as achievements, status, or other approval, you will likewise project these sentiments into your love relationships with others. If a client does not meet the external standards of validation that you have placed on yourself to determine your personal worthiness of love, you will have difficulty not falling into judgment of the client. Judgment and love cannot transmit through the human body at the same time. Judgment creates an energy reality of separation or non-resonant frequencies of energy, whereas love creates the co-resonance of frequencies needed for open flow of universal energies for healing facilitation. If one can realize that love is the only constant and that all conditions of judgment change, it is easier to cultivate the innate ability to fully hold the frequency of love. Though assessment of conditions, actions or attitudes is useful and necessary, such assessment can be rendered through separating the person from the action. You can judge the effectiveness or value of the action or idea without assigning a value judgment to the person to whom it is attached. If the healing facilitator can feel love, reverence, respect, and honor for the divinity within themselves, they will also transmit these qualities of excellence in love to the client. The quality of love brought into the healing facilitation experience will directly affect the success of healing assistance given. Love the self and know that all beings possess an unalienable worth and value as a living part of the divine. Begin to cultivate this awareness within your personal life and you will greatly increase your effectiveness as a healing facilitator. Love, honor and respect yourself, your feelings, your dreams and your desires, so you may better love those you wish to serve. The illusion of martyrdom. People who love themselves do not buy into the idea that they must play martyr to others in order to be of service. Martyrdom implies a belief that you are lacking in worth, or must earn your worth in being, by relinquishing that which feels of most value to you. It also undermines expression of the God presence within others, by assisting them to believe that you are so vital to their well-being that they cannot function without you. In truth, martyrdom is an expression of ego most often used by people who feel that they are personally insignificant in the eyes of the divine, in order to give themselves significance and a sense of personal power and purpose for being. People who actively know the intrinsic spiritual divinity within themselves treat that divinity with honor and respect and do not allow or need others to depreciate the self and its desires in order to prove the existence of a belief in personal divinity. Martyrdom does not facilitate healing within the self or client, as it reinforces the erroneous belief in intrinsic personal unworthiness, which exists in direct contradiction to the innate God presence that exists in every living thing. Within the energy dynamics of universal law, natural balance is achieved in the flow or giving, and back flow or receiving of energy. In human spiritual relationships, this balance of energy is achieved by mutually valuing each person in a relationship, through which the natural giving and receiving of energy can be exchanged unimpeded. Martyrdom impedes the natural flow of energy. The martyr customarily gives more than receives, which progressively diminishes the martyr's ability to keep open a perpetual flow of energies from the divine because the martyr does not allow the self to receive. Omni-love, fully engaging the love vibration. The greatest love that can be embodied in human form is omni-love. Omni-love is a pure state of vibrational frequency coresonance between the human identity and 12 dimensions of reality within which the human anatomy is couched. Omni-love is expressed in human form as Christ love or Christos consciousness, the 12th dimensional love of the Maharic level of identity. Christos love is a state of full frequency resonance with everything existing in the many universes contained within 12 dimensions of the 15-dimensional system. It is a transcendent love that is attached to no thing, but is at one with all things in a state of perpetual engaged detachment. Through Christos omni-love, the self is known as an extension of God, or the divine source, a temporary mask of form worn by the one consciousness of the cosmos. All things and beings are known as simultaneous expressions of the one self that is God source. From this state of transcendence in love, all activity is understood to exist within the reality of love, and all conflict and strife are viewed as the one self progressively expanding the ability of its expressions to carry the frequencies of energy that constitute one love, a state of total vibrational frequency coresonance with the cosmos. Activation of the full 12-strand silicate matrix DNA template and full integration of the Mahara Uva body avatar identity allows for the experiential embodiment and transmission of Christos omni-love. Embodiment of omni-love is the goal toward which human evolution moves forth. Omni-love is soft, tough, and enduring, honoring self, other and the divine simultaneously. It is the strongest healing force of frequency in the four harmonics of matter density. Christos omni-love is the fulfillment of the Christos principle. Strive to bring omni-love into your life, and personal and client healing facilitation, and you will assist your higher identity levels to create transformation. Omni-love is the natural structure of reality. Awareness of omni-love is cultivated through intention and appropriate use of personal free will choice in congruence with the natural laws of the unified field physics of consciousness and creation. Postures of love. 1. Soft love. Kind, nurturing, gentle. 2. Tough love. Kind, nurturing, assertive. 3. Self-love. Honoring the divinity within self. 4. Omni-love. Honoring the divinity within all. Namaste. Omni-love is the fulfillment of the Christos principle, the goal toward which human evolution moves forth through progressive activation of the 12-strand silicate matrix DNA template and embodiment of the avatar identity. Exercise, the Mahara Space Comfort Touch. Putting it all together, running a client session. The Kathara bioregenesis techniques provided in this Level 1 Kathara manual can be used together to create a powerful bio-spiritual healing facilitation called the Maharic Recoding Session. The Maharic Recoding Session activates the client's personal Maharic shield and seal, begins the process of restoring the client's organic imprint for health, the Christos Maharic template, and initiates the natural internal processes of recoding the client's personal manifestation template to the perfected form of the pre-matter Maharic shield. The Maharic recoding session can be conducted for a client only once for gentle stimulation of the natural healing energies, or it can be repeated as often as 2 to 3 times per week for intensified healing support or to expedite DNA template activation. Like all bioregenesis technologies, the Maharic recoding session gently stimulates more rapid, natural activation of the personal DNA template and Kundalini energies, and expedites the intrinsic processes of higher identity integration, Uva body merger and release of the cranial sacral Kundalini star crystal seals. Once set in motion, these internal processes boost the strength of the personal organic imprint for health while simultaneously beginning the process of regenesis of the original 12-strand silicate matrix DNA potential within the human genome and manifestation template. The Maharic recoding session not only assists and supports the client in the objectives of creating and maintaining health and well-being, it also prepares the body-mind-spirit system for renewal of the promise of transmutational dimensional ascension. The Maharic recoding session amplifies the beneficial effects of all other healing therapeutics and is compatible with all other forms of allopathic and holistic healing. The 6-step Maharic recoding session. Before client arrives, Technique 1, activate your mentor. Conduct Maharic Space Comfort Touch exercise and remote request permission from client's Rishi identity level to apply comfort touch when client arrives. Create a calm, pleasant environment where you will not be interrupted by phone or other distractions. Optional, sing 3 rounds of the REA cum NARA toning to amplify personal healing and DNA template activation during healing facilitation session. When client arrive, apply comfort touch if Rishi gave remote permission. Sit with client and review terms of the client agreement form and secure client's signature on form. Offer client the option of audio taping the session for clients at home review. 6-step technique, Maharic recoding. 1. Technique 1, the Maharic seal and the liquid light cleanse to seal and align personal biofields. 2. Sequence 1 Kathara points massage, first your points, then client's points via etheric massage, 1 above client's physical body, to open Kathara lines. 3. Technique 3 Opening the healing channels to activate your Duratic Phase 1 healing current and Technique 4, Amplifying inner audio visual and Kathara scan, to locate miasms for healing in client's Kathara grid. 4. Technique 5, the Maharic infusion to activate client's Maharic shield and seal. Recode client's Kathara grid to the Maharic shield and clear miasmic build-ups. 5. Optional, apply etheric massage to miasmic areas, or employ other healing therapeutics after Maharic infusion. 6. Sequence 2 Kathara points etheric massage to revitalize outer body systems and close Kathara lines. Allow client to rest a few minutes before leaving. Answer any client questions and allow time to discuss experience if desired. When client leave, to ensure clear biofields, while Duratic 1 current is still running, draw energy up from Earth's Maharic shield and run Maharic current through your Kathara grid and body, up to Chakra 14 and back down to Chakra 13, then push a pillar of silver light out of Chakra 4 and exhale it to release it around body into Auric field. Next, massage your Sequence 2 Kathara points to revitalize biofield systems and close Kathara lines. Chapter 4 Highlights, General Kathara Healing Field Work. Activation of triadic healing current requires temporary release of corresponding signet star crystal seals in the Kathara Level 2 crystal seals grid. Maharic 12th dimensional frequency is required to manually release the signet star crystal seals to activate triadic healing currents. Kathara healing utilizes Maharic frequency to activate interdimensional triadic healing currents for more powerful healing support. Most healing systems have not used Maharic current because the planetary Templar complex could not run 12th dimensional Maharic frequency for over 200,000 years, until January 2000. Release of the signet seals also activates dormant strands in the DNA template and releases the cranial sacral seals on the Kundalini energies. Kathara healing represents advanced, 12-dimensional Kundalini healing. Triadic phase currents are activated in the body by using Maharic frequency from the planetary bio-feed interface system to release the signet seals of the internal Templar complex, which allows higher dimensional frequency to run through the physical body system for transmission. Triadic phase currents are composed of three interwoven frequencies: the Maharic frequency, plus a chosen dimensional frequency and its corresponding frequency from one harmonic up. Triadic phase currents are directed by their corresponding color capstone, the primary wavelength of the dimensional frequency band from which the current is drawn. Kathara Level 1 activates the first triadic phase current, the silver, D12, green, D4, violet, D7, Doradic phase 1 current. Doradic current is activated through the Maharic shield, then collected in the fourth chakra Doradic sphere, projected down the Doradic cords in the arms and into the Doradic balls in the palm chakras for direct induction of frequency transmission in healing facilitation. The palm chakras are secondary chakras located in the palms of the hands. Like all chakras, they function as black-white hole sets for transmitting and receiving energy between the personal manifestation template and the dimensional unified fields of energy. The palm chakras are double vortices of energy, with one spiral exiting the palm and its corresponding spiral exiting the back of the hand. The two spirals of the palm chakras are linked by a crystal seal at the center point where the two vortices meet. In one palm chakra, one spiral rotates clockwise, is base electrical and transmits energy out of the body, and the other spiral rotates counterclockwise, is base magnetic and draws energy into the body. In Level 1 Kathara healing, the right palm is the transmitting hand and the left palm is the receiving hand. For transmission, the standard hand position is left palm placed over the back of the right hand for pure transmission and control of specific frequency, transmitted from the right palm. The right palm is base electrical, the left palm is base magnetic, but both have subtle electromagnetic capacity. The karmic miasmic imprint. To enter manifestation in time, identity enters cycles of simultaneous incarnation within the four harmonics of matter density in 12 dimensions of the 15-dimensional time matrix. The primal order scalar wave template through which an identity enters time is the density 5, dimensions 13, 14, and 15, Rishik shield. The Rishik shield holds, in the time matrix, the identity of the family of consciousness from which incarnates emerge. The scalar patterns of the Rishik shield represent the tangible divine right order in energy and consciousness, for each incarnate manifesting from it. The individual identity must realign its manifestation template with this primal order to become free from the time matrix in full ascension. The density for pre-matter hydroplasmic Maharic shield, dimensions 10, 11 and 12, is the scalar template through which identity manifests in the lower dimensional densities and which connects the individual incarnate to its Rishik shield. The Maharic shield is often called the personal Christos template, and it holds the consciousness and perfect primal order for all incarnations of an identity in time. Karma is the result of free will choices made by incarnates that involve using personal energies in ways incongruent with the natural laws of universal unified field physics and the primal order of the Christos template. Karma creates scalar wave distortions within the scalar shields of personal 15-dimensional anatomy that manifest physically as energetic cluster called miasms. Miasms are unintended groups of antiparticles lodged within the particle field of the personal manifestation template that block and impede the natural flow of energy and consciousness into embodiment. Miasms, and the misshapen scalar wave distortions that form them, are the cause of all disease and disharmonic conditions. Health and harmonious flow of energy are the natural conditions of human design. The Maharic Shield Personal Christos template holds the organic imprint for health for all simultaneous incarnates of an identity, and can therefore be used to clear the karmic miasmic imprint from the personal manifestation template to progressively restore healthful primal order. Miasms from all simultaneous incarnations manifest within the personal manifestation template and within the DNA template of each, where they become literal genetic distortions. Each of an identity's incarnates in various time cycles represents one time vector, which is encoded in the vector codes of the DNA template. Karmic miasmic bleed-through occurs between incarnates from different concurrent time cycles through the living link of scalar frequency that exists between the DNA templates of simultaneous incarnations. The karmic miasmic imprint does not have to be suffered and cleared the old-fashioned way by walking through the karma in physical reality. The miasmic imprint can be cleared as energy, with energy, to prevent its manifestation in physical terms via realignment of the DNA template with the personal Maharic shield. Any given incarnate can clear the karmic miasmic imprint by realigning the personal manifestation template with the shared Christos template Maharic shield. This process is called multi-vector holographic recoding, which creates bioregenesis of the original 12-strand silicate matrix DNA template of human design and restoration of the organic imprint for health. Holographic recoding and clearing the karmic miasmic imprint from the personal manifestation template begins with activation of the Maharic shield and seal in the bioenergetic field and progressive running of the 12th dimensional Maharic frequency from the personal and planetary Maharic shields through the three primary levels of the embodied kathara grid, the level 1 12 tree grid, level 2 crystal seals grid and level 3 dyadic points. Personal holographic recoding begins with consistent use of Technique 2, the Maharic seal and the liquid light cleanse, and is further accelerated by facilitating Maharic recoding in others through running the triadic phase currents for co-generative healing. One can facilitate healing in others and amplify personal healing through using Technique 5, the Maharic infusion. The Maharic recoding session utilizes the combined bioregenesis techniques presented in Level 1 Kathara healing to facilitate client healing sessions. Professionalism in healing facilitation requires an understanding of the postures of love and a willingness to cultivate the ability to hold and transmit omni-love, honoring the divinity of all things and beings. The primary postures of love are soft love, tough love, self-love, and omni-love. The emotionally experienced quality called love is a reality in energy physics. Love is a state of vibrational frequency co-resonance that allows free flow of energy between consciousness within the universal unified field. The human 12-strand DNA template was designed to allow 12 dimensions of vibrational co-resonance, the Christos consciousness of the Maharic shield, to embody in human form. Zero Christos omni-love is vibrational co-resonance with all that exists within 12 dimensions of the time matrix. Its embodiment is the primary goal toward which human evolution progresses. Christos omni-love is the strongest healing frequency available within the densities of space, time and matter, and is essential for effective healing facilitation and personal ascension. Chapter 5. Mahara Merkabic Master Key Healing. Activating the Tribal Shield. The 12-dimensional tribal shield is the dormant species divine blueprint within the DNA template core of the angelic human races of the 4 evolutionary rounds. The frequencies of energy and dimensions of consciousness of the 1728 simultaneous cells of the personal eternal Christos identity can be activated in one incarnation through sequential activation of the fire letter sequences or flame codes of the tribal shield. The flame code fire letters within the DNA template are the DNA signet codes that correspond to Earth's 12 primary stargates and the planetary shields through which the planetary body manifests. The flame codes serve as the core foundation of the personal 12-strand DNA template. The DNA template flame codes of the tribal shield allow for the primal life force currents of the density 5 Ki Rache primal light fields and the Kundera primal sound fields from the energy matrix, beyond the 15th-dimensional time matrix, to embody more fully within the angelic human form. A fire letter is a fixed point of consolidated frequency that holds specific frequencies consciousness into manifest form. The manifestation templates, or divine blueprints of all things manifest, are built upon intricate patterns of interwoven fire letters called fire letter sequences. The flame codes of the angelic human personal DNA template and species tribal shield are composed of the same fire letter sequences that make up the divine blueprint of Earth's planetary shields. Activation of the tribal shield sets in motion simultaneous firing or activation of the 144 fire letters, 12 fire letter sequences, of the 12-strand DNA template, expediting the natural evolutionary process of soul, oversoul, and Christos avatar identity integration, through progressively opening the trans-time DNA template stargates. Activating the 12-strand DNA template allows the D12 frequency of the universal Christos Maharata current to activate within and run through the angelic human DNA template and into the Earth's planetary shields. Activation of the Maharata current, within groups of angelic humans on Earth, allows for collective anchoring of the D12 planetary Christos divine blueprint, the shield of Arimatina, to achieve fulfillment of angelic humanity's sacred commission of the planetary Christos realignment mission. About Q zones. Q zones are locations on Earth where a small portion of Earth's D12 shield of Arimatina Christos divine blueprint has been reset within Earth's planetary shields. During stellar activation cycles, Q zones can be manually set by individuals or groups by running the D12 Maharata current, activating the tribal shield to draw in the Kundera primal sound frequencies, then singing the 12 tribes' master song suffixes and running the tones through the body and feet and into Earth's planetary shields. After running the master song suffixes, one can then allow the song of the Christos soul, the tones of the personal D12 Maharic shield, the Elohe Elohim within, to run into the planetary shields. The personal soul song will create a back song transmission of frequency from Earth's planetary shields, a set of healing frequencies set back to you in response to activating your soul song in Earth's planetary shields. Once set, Q zones will remain for a period of 3.5 to 5 years, depending on the strength of energy originally set. They can be recharged using the same setting procedure to last indefinitely. Q zones are safe zone areas on the planet that are protected from interdimensional interference. They can be used to amplify effects of energy healing applications, to charge objects and substances with subharmonics of D12 Christos frequency and, when used with the personal temporary Maharic seal, to get clear, protected meditation space, free from interdimensional interference. Q zones are keyed to Earth's planetary Templar Q sites, the activating sites for Earth's 12 primary stargates, which exist on regions of Earth that correspond to the 12 primary stargates of inner Earth. Technique 6, the Maharic Quick Seal. 1. Work with a 24-pointed, 3-dimensional star, Hierophant, and be aware that you will be working with beings known as the Brno Rishi. 2. Begin by slowing your breathing as you imagine or visualize a 24-point, 3-dimensional Hierophant at the pineal gland, in the center of your brain. Visualize the Hierophant surrounded by a pale blue sphere of light. 3. Inhale, as if you are going to grab the blue sphere containing the 24-pointed star, located at the pineal, and on the exhale move the 24-pointed star blue sphere, all the way down to Earth's core. Try to hear a sound tone as the Hierophant sphere hits the planetary shield. 4. Inhale and draw the Hierophant sphere up to your personal Maharic shield, 12 inch below your feet, and exhale while watching the pale silver-blue sphere expand out to a large sphere, and watch as your Maharic shield pops out as a disc, about 4 feet in diameter, pale silver with a light coating of pate blue. 5. Bring your attention to the center of your Maharic shield, 12 foot below your feet, and inhale the 24-pointed star up into the heart chakra. Exhale, expanding the frequencies of the 24-pointed star into the heart chakra. 6. Inhale to grab the 24-pointed star and exhale, pushing the star up into the 14-inch chakra, 36 above the head. Imagine that the 24-pointed star is spinning in a clockwise direction, in the 14-inch chakra. As you do this, try to sense the energy around you, just a few inches out from your body. 7. Now, put your attention into your Maharic shield, 12 foot below your feet. Take a couple of relaxing breaths and inhale deeply, pulling the pale silver and blue energy up, as if you are pulling on your Maharic seal to latch it on to your 14th chakra. Try and feel the sensations just a few inches from your body now. Feel the difference if you can. This procedure gives you a quick seal. 8. Now envision the cord of pale silver Maharic light that would normally come up with your shield and focus on the Earth's core. Begin drawing energy all the way up the 4-foot diameter cord and into the body. Inhale the energy up into the heart center and expand it there. Begin to form a pale silver ball of Maharic frequency. On each exhale, send your energy down to the Earth's core to bring up another load of Maharic frequency, up from the planetary shields. Expand it into the heart center and repeat several times. Notice that the cord grows larger as you do this, expanding from approximately 4 foot to 6 to 8 in diameter, until finally it feels like a skin around, as well as within, your body. Begin to form a pale silver ball of Maharic frequency. 9. Move your attention to the pale silver ball you have created in your heart center. Inhale and move it up to the 14-inch chakra, 36 above your head. As you do, feel for the sheath of Maharic frequency encasing your etheric body, close to your skin. This Maharic crystal skin charges and saturates your etheric body. Feel the peacefulness and all-knowing nature of this frequency. Technique 7. The Master Key Tones. The 12 tribes' names were audible, tone translations of the specific fire letter sequence contained within the tribal shield DNA templates of each tribe. The tones of the tribal names were used to activate the 144 fire letters of the tribal shield in the personal DNA template, providing the angelic humans races with the ability to consciously regulate the activation level of their DNA templates and primal life force current. The sound tone programs that are used to activate the DNA template and primal life force currents are called the sacred sons. The tribal name was the Master Son. In running the Rainbow Roundtables, the Signet Council regents brought their tribal shield flame codes into activation by singing rounds of the sacred Master Sons. Tribal Shield, creating a Q-zone. 1. Choose a location and activate a personal Maharic quick seal to run the D12 Maharata current in your body. 2. Once you can feel sensation of Maharata current running, sing tone 12 tribes Master Son's names for Tribe 12 and Tribe 1, to activate Tribal Shield's flame codes in your DNA template to run the Rainbow Ray. Direct pale silver Maharata current and Rainbow Ray pale color spectrum through body and out soles of feet into Earth's planetary shields. Tone for a while to build critical mass of frequency. 3. Use a selected combination of 3 Master Son suffixes and tone for a while, running sound through body and feet into Earth's grids. Avoid the suffix combination of Tribe 4, 7, 10, used in that sequence, to avert present distortions in Earth's grids that run on this mathematical coding. 4. Allow the Christo Soul Song to emerge from you freestyle and send the tones into Earth's grids. 5. When complete, sit quietly for a while and listen for the Earth's telepathically transmitted back song, drawing its gentle frequencies into your body for healing. 6. Close with singing several rounds of the 3 master song suffixes that you opened with. The Q zone you have set will extend out from your position in a radius of about 5 yards and will last 3.5 to 5 years, depending on the strength of energy you used in setting the Q zone. 7. To amplify strength of Q zone, you can use the Merkaba spin just after closing. Remain in same position, stand and gently spin, first clockwise, as if you are standing in the middle of a clock face with the 6 in front of your feet, the 3 at the left hand, the 9 at the right hand and 12 directly behind you. Spin gently clockwise to bring electrical frequency down through your top Merkaba spiral. Then slow, stop and reverse spin to counterclockwise, to activate bottom Merkaba spiral, drawing frequency up from Earth's grids. Personal Merkaba activation will accelerate the frequencies of the D12 energies you set at the site, making the Q zone stronger and more lasting. The Sacred Salutations. Electrical Merkaba activation. The ancient Mue and Lemurian guardian races ran the Maharata and activated the tribal shield each day to conduct the sacred solar and lunar salutation rites each morning and evening. The sacred salutations are toning dances that activate the personal Merkaba field for sustained activation of the DNA template and amplification of the Maharata and universal life force currents in the body. Solar salutations accelerate the spin of the electrical harmonic Merkaba spiral, drawing increased amounts of electrical antiparticle frequency from the solar electrical Merkaba spiral light spectrum into the electrical acceleration codes in the DNA template, to charge the body with the electrical antiparticle frequency. Accelerated electrical Merkaba spiral spin of solar salutations increases the amount of antiparticle base electrical frequency brought into the body's DNA template and kathara grid from the dimensional unified fields, and increases the amount of antiparticle frequency sent out from the body into Earth's planetary shields. Frequency passes between the human body and Earth's planetary shields via the embodied kathara grid core templates that make up the planetary bio-feed interface system. Electrical antiparticle energy enters the body via the top electrical harmonic and dimensional Merkaba spirals, the base electrical acceleration codes in the DNA template, the electrical kathara centers 2, 5, 8, 11 of the kathara grid central pillar, the electrical aspect of electromagnetic kathara centers 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, on the right side of body, left side pillar in kathara diagram, electrical chakras 2, 5, 8, 11 and the electrical aspect of electromagnetic chakras 1, 3, 6, 9, 12. Solar salutations, which is clockwise spin top electrical Merkaba field activation, raise the bodies, lower the body's vibration, making the body higher frequency and more. A higher frequency electrical body has lower vibration, higher frequency, less matter density. More activated DNA strands, more chromosomes, embodiment of more levels of consciousness. Slower heart, breathing and metabolic rhythms thus requires less food. Greater longevity and less sleep. Greater silica quantity in silica to carbon ratio of elemental composition and larger size. Perception of expanded space and slower time movement. Greater heat release, thus cooler internal temperature. Natural attribute of transmitting greater amounts of energy thrust into the planetary shields than it is drawing in from them. Energy giving. The solar salutations charge the top electrical clockwise Merkaba spiral to maintain its natural cycle of 33 1/3 rotations per 1/1,000,000th of a nanosecond, through which the base electrical systems of the body are naturally maintained. The lunar salutation, magnetic Merkaba activation. Lunar salutations accelerate the spin of the magnetic harmonic Merkaba spiral, bottom, counterclockwise spin, drawing increased amounts of magnetic particle frequency from the lunar magnetic Merkaba spiral reflected light spectrum and Earth's planetary shields into the magnetic base codes in the DNA template to charge the body with magnetic particle frequency. Accelerated magnetic Merkaba spiral spin of lunar salutations increases the amount of particle-base magnetic frequency brought into the body's DNA template and kathara grid from the Earth's planetary shields, and increases the amount of particle frequency sent out from the body into the dimensional unified fields. Particle-based magnetic energy enters the body via the bottom magnetic harmonic and dimensional Merkaba spirals, the base magnetic base codes in the DNA template, the magnetic kathara centers for 710 of the kathara grid on the left side of the body, the magnetic aspect of electromagnetic kathara centers 136912 on the right side of body, left side pillar in kathara diagram. Magnetic chakras 4 to 710 and the magnetic aspect of electromagnetic chakras 136912. Lunar salutations lower the bodies, raise the body's vibration, making the body lower frequency and more magnetic, which means draws in more energy than it is transmitting out. A lower frequency magnetic body has higher vibration, lower oscillation/frequency, greater matter density. Fewer activated DNA strands, fewer chromosomes, embodiment of fewer levels of consciousness. Faster heart, breathing and metabolic rhythms, which is energy expansion and contraction rates, thus requires more food. Lesser longevity and needs more sleep, because body can synthesize natural higher frequency energy and stream of consciousness for shorter periods. Greater carbon quantity in silica to carbon ratio of elemental composition and smaller size, which means less space between cells. Perception of contracted or more confined space and faster time movement. Less heat release, thus warmer internal temperature. Natural characteristic of drawing greater amounts of energy thrust into the planetary shields than it is transmitting into them. Energy taking. The lunar salutations charge the bottom magnetic counterclockwise Merkaba spiral to maintain its natural cycle of 11 2/3 rotations per 1/1,000,000th of a nanosecond, through which base magnetic systems of the body are naturally maintained. The natural ratio between the top clockwise electrical male harmonic Merkaba field and the bottom counterclockwise magnetic female harmonic Merkaba field is electrical top 33 1/3 clockwise rotations per 1/1,000,000th of a nanosecond and magnetic bottom 11 2/3 counterclockwise rotations per 1/1,000,000th of a nanosecond. The fastest means of naturally activating the personal 12-strand DNA template is 1. Tribal shield activation, activating the 144 fire letters of the tribal shield and sacred salutations Merkaba activations. 2. Emerald and amethyst awakening 2 masters Kundalini activations, releasing key fire codes between the DNA strand templates to allow for expedited DNA strand braiding. 3. DNA template bioregenesis. Progressive use of the internally directed DNA template bioregenesis technologies for progressive purging of strand template mutations, restoration of the natural D12 Christos divine blueprint of the 12-strand DNA template and expedited, accelerated activation of the DNA strand template base codes and acceleration codes. 4. Master key codes. Use of the personal scalar waveguide symbol code programs that correspond directly to the core programming of the personal D12 Maharic shield for further sequential expedition of strand template activation. 5. Melchizedek Cloister Level 3 Regent Ordination. Transmission of the Key Rache Primal Light and Kundera Primal Sound Field Rainbow Ray Current directly into the personal DNA template via direct chakra induction. Sufficient rainbow ray frequencies to provide a Level 3 Regent ordination can be transmitted by a Melchizedek Cloister Level 5 Elder Consummate or Level 6 Ekar Indigo Child Type 1 Magi Grail Line Angelic Humans, who have the frequencies of the primal creation currents integrated into their DNA template from birth. Expedites all of the above while providing additional bioenergetic field support for more stable cycles of DNA template activation. The Kundera RRT activation sequence. A progression of manually initiated Kundalini and DNA template activations that systematically induce temporary release of the cranial sacral Kundalini seals, which is pineal gland and tailbone, in their natural release sequence, allowing for temporary and progressive embodiment, which is nanosecond burst of frequency, of the primal universal life force currents, via syncopated activation of the 12-strand DNA template. The Kundera RRT activation sequence allows the density 4, D10 to 12 pre-matter, Maharata Christos current, density 5, D13 to 15, Ki Ra-She primal light currents and the Kundera primal sound currents from source, to run through the DNA template and body for accelerated true 12-strand or higher DNA template activation and expedited human spiritual integration. For the human body to hold and transmit a minimum critical mass of Ki Ra-Sha and Kundera frequency to access the planetary shields and stargates for Masters, Universal, Kundera RRT, the Kundera RRT activation sequence must be conducted 4 to 24 hours prior to the Kundera RRT. The Kundera RRT activation sequence must also be run 2 to 24 hours prior to the Amethyst Awakening Masters 2 Kundalini activation, to prepare the body for the Amethyst Awakening frequencies. The Amethyst Awakening, Field Technique 6, can also be run just before a Kundera RRT, following prior Kundera RRT activation sequence, to greatly amplify the power of the Kundera RRT and Signet Council Group. There are 5 specific operations of energy management within the Kundera RRT activation sequence. 1. Activating the Duratic Phase 1 current. 2. Awakening the Ka. 3. The Emerald Awakening. 4. Activating the Ki Ra-She. 5. Activating the Ra Center anchoring the Rainbow Bridge. The Emerald and Amethyst Awakening, Masters Kundalini DNA Template Activations for accelerated DNA template activation and spiritual integration, running Kundera RRT and enhanced immune support. The human body is fueled by energetic life force currents from source. In contemporary human anatomy, the only life force currents running fully through the embodied kathara grid and body are those corresponding to the single vector time cycle of the density 1 telluric shield. Each of the 4 UVA bodies and their corresponding scalar shields, DNA strand templates, axiotonal lines, dimensions of consciousness and Merkaba field levels process the frequencies of one triadic current, a 3-dimensional, bipolar life force current. The life force currents corresponding to the first 9 dimensions and the first 3 UVA bodies, matter densities and shields are referred to as the Kundalini energies. Each Kundalini current is a triadic current, a set of 3-dimensional currents that function together and are separated by magnetic repulsion zones within the embodied kathara grid. The 3 embodied Kundalini currents are the telluric, duratic and turic currents. Each of the 3 Kundalini currents is spiraled within the regions of the 1-inch 8 cells of human conception, located in the tailbone at the base of the spine. The first Kundalini current, the telluric current that corresponds to the density 1 nada of a body, is active within the human form from birth, enabling 3 dimensions of consciousness awareness, in the form of scalar frequency, to embody within the human organism. When the 2 dormant Kundalini currents in the tailbone, the duratic and turic currents, are activated, the frequencies of consciousness from dimensions 4 to 9 progressively awaken within the body, activating the dormant 4 to 9 strands of the 12-strand DNA template. The 3 primary Kundalini spirals each contain 3 single-dimension currents and are controlled by the corresponding signet star crystal seals in the Kathara level 2 crystal seals grid. The signet seals create polarization between dimensionalized sets of scalar waves within the scalar shields that manifest within the Kathara level 2 grid, first 8 cells and DNA template as frequency seals or blockages within the tailbone and the pineal gland in the center of the brain, the cranial sacral seals. When the cranial sacral seals are released, through activation of the signet star crystal seals that govern them, the dormant Kundalini currents come to life within the body, sending progressively higher frequency energy through the central vertical current of the body. Activation of the 3 Kundalini currents progressively creates integration of the higher dimensions of consciousness and de-densification of molecular structure. When all of the frequencies within the 3 embodied Kundalini currents are activated, the 4-inch Kundalini current, the primal triadic current, the Ki Ra-She, is activated. The frequency seal on the Ki Ra-She is located in the 12th chakra, 6 inch below the feel. Activation of the Ki-Ra-She anchors the 12-inch dimensional hydroplasmic beam within the body, initiating the process of cellular transmutation and intentional demanifestation and dimensional ascension of the human biological form. The Emerald Awakening and the Ki-Ra-She. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation is one of two interharmonic energetic activations of previously dormant frequency within the body that sets in motion simultaneous activation of the 12 magnetic base tones within the fire codes between the 12 strands of the silicate matrix DNA template. Activation of the 12 fire code base tones begins activation of the 3 primal creation frequencies, the Ki-Ra-She, within the 4 scalar shields of the personal inner Templar complex. Activation of the 12 DNA fire codes allows for progressive, natural fusion of each dimensional DNA strand template to occur, through which the organic potentials of cellular transmutation are reawakened within the physical body form. Through the natural processes of cellular transmutation, once fully operational within the human genetic design, the carbon-based elemental biology of density 1 molecular structure is progressively and systematically transmuted to silica-based biology. Transmutation to silica-based biology allows the physical body to pass through the levels of semi-etheric, etheric and pre-matter hydroplasmic liquid silica densities of harmonics 2 to 4, through which the consciousness continually enters manifestation to achieve physical mastery of the organic process of transmutational dimensional ascension. To accomplish mastery of the ascension process, the signet star crystal seals with the scalar shields, which keep the 12-dimensionalized frequency levels of consciousness and molecular form phase locked into dimensional polarization, must be released. Release of the signet star crystal seals allows the frequency spectra of the higher dimensional anatomy and the primal creation currents of the Ki-Ra-She to enter into the template for the physical body and dormant DNA fire code templates, progressively building the Merkaba vehicle and setting the cellular transmutation process in motion. The process of progressive transmutational dimensional ascension represents the function of the organic genetic design and evolutionary objective of the human creation blueprint, through which the natural eternal Christos angelic form of the human being is actualized. In the evolutionary cycles of contemporary humanity, actualization of the 12-strand DNA potential takes place slowly, in earthly terms, as the incarnate identity experiences single lifetime vectors, several cycles of density L incarnation, spanning many thousands of years, in order to progressively activate the DNA fire codes within the manifestation template. When the human genome was operating in its organic form, this process took place in one lifetime, over a period of about 44 years, as the eternal human incarnate matured to embody the 12 dimensions of consciousness within its original Christos manifestation template. The Maharic shield, actualizing its organic angelic human heritage and mastery over 4 densities of manifestation, within the time matrix. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation releases the density 2 4-inch dimensional green signet star crystal seal and the density 1 first-dimensional red signet star crystal seal, to open the density L Nada Ova body and telluric shield and density 2 Alpha Uva body and Doratic shield, to receive the omnipolar frequencies of the 12-dimensional Maharic current, hydroplasmic beam, from the pre-matter Christos template Maharic shield. Upon entering the telluric and Doratic shields, the 12-dimensional frequencies of the Maharic current trigger simultaneous activation of the base tones, within the 12 fire codes of the DNA template, beginning the process of depolarization of the 12 strands and levels of consciousness within the human manifestation template. Progressive depolarization of the 12 levels of consciousness within the human manifestation template sets in motion the organic process of cellular transmutation and potential for mastery over transmutational dimensional ascension. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation initiates regenesis of the original function of the human genome, releasing the base tones of the 3 Ki-Ra-She currents within the body, via opening of 2 signet seals, through which the physical body begins the carbon-to-silica transmutation process and is prepared to receive the higher dimensional overtone frequencies of the Ki-Ra-She, to complete cellular transmutation via fusion and depolarization of the particle particum, and anti-particle, partika, aspects of the manifestation template. This is the natural process of unified field physics by which a human being becomes Christ. The amethyst awakening and the kundalini. The final step in fulfilling the potentials of original angelic human design is activation of the overtoned frequencies of the ki rashi, which allows fusion between DNA strand templates to complete on 12 dimensions of frequency. The final step in transmutational dimension ascension is called the Amethyst Awakening Master's Kundalini Activation. Through the Amethyst Awakening, the density 3 7th dimensional violet signet crystal seal and S-dimensional gold signet star crystal seal and the density 4 11th dimensional dark silver signet star crystal seed are released within the body's scalar shields. Release of the overtoned signet seals allows the overtones of the ki rashi creation currents to fuse with base tones, bringing the three omnipolar creation currents, primal creation currents built upon a trinity of tones, bipolar plus nonpolar energy units, together as one primal nonpolar current, the kundalini, also called the rainbow bridge or the rainbow serpent. The kundalini is the pre-luminal vibration, or standing wave of internal sound, emitted from one source God, that corresponds to the combined original source current from which the three ki rashi primal life force currents of the three non-dimensionalized levels of the energy matrix, beyond the 15-dimensional time matrix, emerge. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation and its resulting activation of the base tones of the ki rashi within the human body is the first step in manually expediting the natural process of transmutational dimensional ascension. Awakening the Ka and removing inorganic crystal implants. Before the Emerald Awakening Kundalini activation can be orchestrated, the Maharic shield and the Ka must be brought out of dormancy within the human manifestation template. Once the 12th dimensional Maharic current is released within the embodied kathara gird, the Ka can be activated. The Ka refers to the four uva bodies, corresponding to dimensions 1 through 12, Nada, Alfi, Betya, and Mahara Ova bodies. The Ka becomes activated through removal of 4 inorganic crystal seal implants that block the natural function of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th DNA strand templates. Following the procedure for awakening the Ka, the Emerald Awakening Kundalini activation can be conducted. Technique 12, Awakening the Flame. Preparation, activate Maharic seal, Technique 6. 1. Breathe slowly and deeply for several breaths while visualizing or imagining a violet on the center of the inside of your forehead. Make the color image as strong as you are able. If you can't yet perceive inner colors, simply imagine the violet dot being there. Move the violet to the center of the brain, at the pineal gland, and then upward into the 7th chakra, finally moving it out of your head to rest on the lop of your skull, at the crown chakra. 2. Call to mind the Hierophant symbol, pale silver Merkaba star. Visualize the Hierophant spinning 12 foot below your feel within your Maharic shield, and slowly inhale. Drawing the pale silver Hierophant up through the central body current, up to meet the violet, the 7th crown chakra at the top of the head. When the Hierophant connects with the violet, visualize the violet top bursting into a 4-foot vertical pillar of violet silver light. Imagine the violet silver pillar running down through the body and into the earth's core, as well as upward into the 14th chakra, positioned 36 above your head. This activates the violet ray of transmutation. 3. Now, move your attention to the 4th heart chakra, and imagine a small green spherical crystal, the green star, stationed at its core. This is the green star crystal seal that controls release of 4th dimensional frequency phase 1, Duratic current, into the body. Inhale, drawing violet silver energy from the violet silver pillar into the green star. Exhale, expanding the violet silver energy into the green star sphere. Repeal 2 more inhale-exhale breaths, drawing violet silver energy from the pillar and expanding it into the green star sphere. 4. At the end of the last exhale, imagine the green star popping, turning into a spinning green and violet star burst of light, as the violet-silver pillar disappears. Spin the green-violet star burst faster until it becomes a ball of green-violet light, about the size of a grapefruit, spinning at the center of the heart chakra. Inhale and draw pale silver energy from your Maharic shield, through the central body current, and into the center of the Duratic sphere at the heart chakra, encasing the sphere in pale silver light. Awakening the Ka. 1. Bring your attention back to the Duratic sphere at the heart center. 2. Inhale pale silver energy up from the earth core to fill and expand the Duratic sphere. Breathe slowly and deeply 2 to 3 times. 3. Now, put the tips of your fingers together and feel the fuzziness of the energy flow. 4. Next, move the fingertips to the tailbone. Inhale energy from the Maharic shield into the Duratic sphere. As you exhale, push pale silver energy down to the fingertips and into the tailbone. Repeat 2-3 times and then remove the fingers. 5. Now, bring your attention to the second chakra. Feel or visualize or just know. A double-terminated quartz crystal, which is a crystal with a point at both ends, is beginning to push out of the front of your second chakra, the sacral center. 6. Focus your attention on this. Try to feel the crystal pushing. Use your hands to help ease it forward and out. 7. There is a smaller double-terminated crystal in the third chakra. This will release on its own because the currents have activated it to do so. Help it out with your fingers. 8. In the heart chakra, imagine a little sphere of energy, colored green. Bring this little green sphere more fully into focus, and you will notice a little black cube of energy inside it. Look more closely again, and notice a smaller white cube inside the black one. 9. As you focus on the two little cubes, watch them merge together. Feel a ripple of vibration as they do, and then notice a little puff of smoke as they both disappear. Now the body is activated to open the fourth and first crystal seals. You are ready for the Emerald Awakening. 1. Now we will open the green star crystal seal. So, keeping your awareness on the Duratic sphere, the green-violet silver ball at the heart center. Inhale. 2. And on the exhale visualize or imagine pushing a cord of green-violet silver Duratic current down into the tailbone to the first cell at its very tip. 3. Breathe easily. And take a moment to visualize the first cell at the tip of your tailbone as a white silver sphere. 4. Now within the white silver sphere, visualize a green sphere and then visualize a red sphere inside the green sphere. 5. Bring your attention back to the sphere of green-violet silver energy in your heart center. And on the next exhale visualize, or imagine, sending a cord of green-violet silver energy all the way down your central vertical column and into the green sphere in the first cell at the tip of the tailbone. 6. As you inhale, pull pale silver light from your personal Maharic shield. The platform disc 12-inch below your feel. Up into the tailbone and into the green sphere. 7. As you do this, visualize the green sphere pop into a starburst of pale green silver light. This has opened the Kundalini seal. Your white silver and red spheres remain as you left them earlier. Now, we will work to open the red star crystal seal. 8. Return your awareness to the Duratic sphere at the heart center. Inhale, and then on the exhale push a cord of green-violet silver Duratic current down to the first cell at the tip of the tailbone. 9. Inhale and draw pale silver energy up from the personal Maharic shield, the platform disc positioned 12 foot below your feet, up into the tailbone, and into the red sphere, inside the white silver sphere. 10. As you draw the pale silver energy into the red sphere, visualize the red sphere pop into a starburst of pale pink silver light, and for the next few breaths exhale the pale pink silver light into the 12th chakra, positioned 6 below your feet. You have now opened the Ki Rache seal, so that the sacred flames of the Ki Rache can be activated. Activating the Ki Rache. The Ki Rache appears as 3 little flames which exist in the 12 chakra positioned 6 below the feet. The 3 flames are pale blue, pale yellow, and pale violet. 1. Begin by focusing deeply on the 12-inch chakra, 6 foot below your feet, and the 3 little flames held there. 1 is pale blue, 1 pale yellow, and the 3rd pale violet. We'll take a few moments to do this. If you have difficulty visualizing, just imagine that they are there. 2. On the inhale, draw the pale violet flame up from chakra 12 into the central vertical column, and all the way up and out through the top of the head, to the 10th chakra, 6 foot above your crown chakra. 3. Next, return your attention to the 12th chakra, 6 foot below your feet. Allow yourself time to connect with the little pale yellow gold flame. Breathe easily. 4. On the next inhale, draw the pale yellow gold flame up from chakra 12, into the central vertical column, and all the way up and out through the top of the head, to the 10th chakra, 6 foot above your crown chakra. Again, return your attention to the 12th chakra, 6 foot below your feet, and connect with the pale blue flame. This flame is the inner arc of the covenant. Take your time. Breathe easily. 5. On the next inhale, draw the pale blue flame up from chakra 12, into the central vertical column, and all the way up and out through the top of the head, to the 10th chakra, 6 foot above your crown chakra. 6. Now, visualize or imagine the 3 little flames together within the 10th chakra, 6 inch above your crown chakra. In a moment, we will create the Ki Rache sphere. Breathe easily. 7. On the next inhale, draw pale silver energy from your personal Maharic shield, 12 inch below your feet, all the way up your central vertical column, up into the 10th chakra. Exhale gently and inhale once more, drawing more pale silver energy up into the 10th chakra. Visualize or imagine the 3 little flames enclosed within a sphere of pale silver light. 8. Breathe easily. On the next exhale, move the Ki Rache sphere all the way down through the central vertical column, out through the 12th chakra 6 inch below your feet, and all the way down to the 13th chakra at Earth's core. As the Ki Rache enters Earth's core, listen for sound tones with your inner ear. These tones represent the Amenti Pass key, which opens your personal GRU-AL point, the first cell in the tailbone, releasing the Ki Rache flames into your auric field. 9. Breathe easily. Watch as the Ki Rache flames rise up your Maharic pillar and emerge through your first cell, passing like radiating waves of pale blue, pale yellow, and pale violet. 10. As the waves of color move through you, bring your attention to your first 4 chakras, the base, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the heart, and visualize or imagine each chakra emanate a silver Maharic sheath or oval pod, completely surrounding each one. This completes the Emerald Awakening, the natural process by which we use unified field physics to trigger our crystal cells. Before we finish, we must first establish the link to the Amethyst Awakening, the process of activation and sheathing of the higher chakras. To complete the session, we will now work with 8th and 11th dimensional energies, to open Duratic Phase 2 and 3 current and activate Turic Phase 2 current. This is called activating the RA center in the thyroid, and anchoring the rainbow bridge. 1. Begin by moving your attention to the area of your third eye, and focus just inside your forehead. A little above and behind your eyebrows, breathe easily. 2. Now, visualize, or imagine, a dark silver, the position you are focused on, in the area of your third eye. Take a little time. 3. Inhale and move the dark silver into the pineal gland in the center of your head and then straight up through the crown chakra until the dark silver, on the top of your skull. 4. On the next inhale, pull pale silver energy up from your personal Maharic shield, 12-inch below your feet, all the way up the central vertical current and into the dark silver, on the top of your head. As the pale silver energy reaches the dark silver, the silver dot pops into a silver starburst. 5. On the next exhale, push the silver starburst down the central vertical channel, all the way to the tip of the tailbone, expanding the silver starburst fully into the first cell. 6. Breathe easily and watch, as gold-silver current emerges from the tailbone, and begins to flow up through each chakra. From the first chakra at the base of the spine, up through the sacral, the solar plexus, all the way up to the crown chakra. We'll take a little time for this. From the crown chakra, the gold-silver current continues upward out of the top of your head, up through the 10th chakra, 6 foot above your head, the 11th chakra 18 above your head, and finally the 14th chakra 36 above your head. 7. Once the gold-silver current reaches the 14th chakra, it returns to the first chakra. The flow of the current creates a gold-silver sheath throughout your central vertical channel. 8. Bring your attention to the 2th chakra now. We're going to create a gold-silver ball there, in the seed seal at the center of the chakra. Just imagine the chakra as a bow tie shape. The seed seal is at the narrow point in the middle. The gold-silver ball is called the turic sphere. Inhale and draw gold-silver current from the gold-silver sheath into the center of the chakra. As you exhale, create and expand the ball to surround the bow tie. 9. Inhale and move the gold-silver ball up to the first hura center, 2 foot below the navel. Exhale gently, allowing the ball to expand. 10. On the next inhale, move the gold-silver ball up to tile solar plexus and exhale gently. 11. Inhale and move the gold-silver ball up to the heart center. Exhale gently. Inhale, drawing more gold-silver current into the ball, and then exhale, forcefully pushing cords of gold-silver current down each arm and into the palms. Bring your fingertips together and feel tile fuzzy buzz of turic phase 3 current. You have now activated turic phase 3 current in your palms, and you are now able to run current from D4 to D8, to transmit to tile thyroid gland, to activate and anchor the rainbow bridge in others. End of technique. Initiating the amethyst awakening. 1. Preparation, complete Maharic quick seal, technique 6, and activation sequence. 2. This technique works to bring in a burst of the kundure, ecstatic blue frequency that sets the amethyst awakening in motion. 3. Place your attention at the center of your brain, inside your pineal gland. Imagine that you see there a pale violet spark of light. This is the bottom of the seal of your 7th crown chakra. Imagine that you are going to move this pale violet spark of light straight up into your 10th chakra, 6 foot above your head. Imagine that the 10th chakra is a disk of light, blue-black sapphire. 4. Now see the disk of light that was blue-black lake on a violet hue. Try to feel it there, a small horizontal disk. On the inhale, you will move this disk of violet sapphire light up to the 24-point silver star at the 14th chakra. And, on the exhale, move it down through the 10th chakra, down through the crown, down the central vertical current, down through your personal Maharic shield, all the way down to the 13th chakra at the Earth's core. 5. Notice, as you do this, a whole series of violet-blue sparks flying out from the planetary Maharic shield, as if they are alive, as if electrical communication is taking place. Notice as this happens that the energy flowing up your Maharic pillar from the Earth core reflects this change as violet-blue energy flows slowly up toward you. As this energy reaches your personal Maharic shield, notice that it does the same thing as the planetary shields, throws out a shower of violet-blue sparks. All communicating with each other about the mathematical instructions about what to do with your body, your crystal seals, your chakras. 6. Now, move your awareness to the pale silver skin all round you, and be aware too of the main vertical current that you brought the pale silver cord through, and at the same time, on each coming inhale, bring up the pale silver violet sapphire energy, simultaneously, from your Maharic shield to infuse the pale silver skin all round you. Take a few breaths to do this and watch as the three colors flicker through you when they reach the heart chakra. Feel them expand out. And allow them to travel on up, all the way to the 14th chakra, expanding throughout every chakra as the pale silver violet sapphire energy flows up, through and all around you. See each chakra respond with a spiraling burst of silver violet sapphire, backward and forward through both sides of the chakras until they all shift. Try to feel the process as it awakens all the cells of your body. The brain cells and brain patterns begin to respond, activating the fire letters, setting the grid of frequencies necessary to activate the fire codes 7, 10, and 12 in the DNA template. The Merkaba Trinity Key Induction. The Merkaba Trinity Key Induction technique begins the process of establishing a conscious directional relationship with various levels of your 15-dimensional anatomy, or that of your client. The Trinity key symbols are mathematical geometrical programs that carry the specific organic structure of each dimensional frequency band as it exists within the D12 Universal Divine Blueprint. Imbuing the proper symbol key into the appropriate area of the personal anatomy can rapidly expedite restoration of the personal divine blueprint within the DNA template, chakra system, and embodied kathara grid. Use of the Trinity Master Key symbols that correspond precisely to the natural order of each dimensional frequency band can intensify all applications of holistic and allopathic healing, as well as progressively and systematically assisting in the process of accelerating DNA template healing and activation. Every condition within the body-mind-spirit system has a specific energy signature, unique to its own construction. Every disease condition within any aspect of the personal experience, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, social, etc., is created and held in manifestation by a specific set of mathematical geometrical energy relationships that are stored within the embodied kathara grid and DNA template in the form of symbol keys. The mathematical geometrical energy relationships that serve as the blueprints upon which experiential manifestation will emerge can be perceived by the conscious identity in its symbol translation. When using the Trinity Master Key symbols, you are resetting and activating very specific portions of the personal divine blueprint, D12 pre-matter Maharic shield, into a naturally harmonious relationship with universal order, the organic structure of dimensionalized frequency bands. The Trinity Master Keys, provided in this technique, trigger activation of very specific fire letters, kalends, within the DNA template, allowing the DNA template to receive, directly, the new electrical instructions corresponding to the personal divine blueprint. This technique can be used with Kathara healing techniques, from Kathara level L and with any other healing modality or singularly after activating the D12 Maharata current via Technique 6, the Maharic Quick Seal. 2 is necessary to initiate a D12 Maharic Seal in order to run any symbol key program into the DNA template and level 1 Kathara grid. It is the strength of the D12 Maharata current that allows access to the deepest levels of the personal shields and divine blueprint. The Trinity Master Key symbols are a set of 3 symbol keys that are to be used in sequence. The first 2 Trinity keys, the initiating keys, are used in every application to open the embodied level 1 Kathara grid to receive new instructions. The third Trinity Master Key symbol, the transmitting key, corresponds directly to the divine blueprint of one-dimensional frequency band and its corresponding Kathara center, DNA strand template, chakra and related body regions, axiotonal line, auric field level and station of consciousness. In a Trinity Key induction session, one can choose to work on only one dimension, chakra DNA strand template Kathara center axiotonal line auric level, via its transmitting key, or each of the 12 transmitting keys of the universal Kathara can be used, in sequence, following induction of the 2 initiating keys. The process of using the Trinity keys is simple. the chakra that corresponds to the transmitting key, or DNA strand, with which you desire to work is used as the vortex through which the Trinity keys are induced into the corresponding kathara center. From the kathara center, the Trinity keys electrically pass on to the DNA template and from there into the axiotonal line system and corresponding areas of the body-mind-spirit system. Use of the Trinity key induction technique progressively assists in activating the personal Merkaba vehicle, while amplifying and expediting restoration of the personal divine blueprint. Technique 9, Merkaba Trinity Key Induction. 1. Activate the Maharata current via Technique 6, the Maharat Quick Seal, and decide which transmitting keys you will use. Trace the 3 Trinity symbol keys onto 3 small squares of paper. 2. First, place each of the papers, with the 2 initiating keys, face up on the floor, then stand, barefoot or socks only, with 1 foot on top of each of the papers, initiating key 1 under left foot, key 2 under the right foot. Note, to run Trinity key induction for a client, have them recline on their back and place the papers with initiating keys in your palms and hold about an inch from the sales of the client's feet, in the etheric body. As introduced in Kathara Level 1, use your palm chakras to transmit the symbols and the pale silver Maharata current, using the same action as described below, into the client's foot chakras, key 1 left foot right hand transmission, key 2 right foot left hand transmission. In cell induction, the papers with symbols should be positioned beneath the balls of your feet in the area of the main chakra on the sale of each foot. Simply begin to breathe deeply and slowly for a few minutes. With each inhale, draw a thick stream of pale silver Maharata current from Earth's core through the central vertical current of the body and out the top of the head to the 14th chakra, 36 above the head. With each exhale, imagine a grapefruit-sized pale silver Maharik ball rapidly moving down your central vertical current. When the Maharik ball reaches your second chakra near the navel, imagine the ball splitting into 2 balls, each continuing to travel down each leg and out your feet chakras, through the symbol keys. Once the 2 balls of Maharik current have passed through the symbol keys, imagine that they emerge into the 1 grapefruit-sized pale silver ball, that continues to move downward into the 13th chakra at Earth's core. Continue this process until you sense a momentary slight warmth, tingling or subtle itching at the balls of your feet. These mild, momentary sensations, called the Q response, will grow stronger the more frequently you use the feet chakras for symbol key induction. Once you have noticed the Q response, you have successfully induced the 2 initiating Trinity keys, and it is now time to utilize the remaining transmitting key. 3. If you have chosen to use the transmitting key for D1 strand 1 axiotonal line 1 chakra 1, continue standing for the final symbol key induction, placing the paper, with the transmitting key, face up on the floor, between slightly parted feet. Do not stand on the symbol key paper for base chakra induction. For all other chakras, recline on your back and place the paper with the transmitting key directly on top of the chakra to which it corresponds, on the front of the body. Use each inhale breathe to draw Maharata current up from Earth's core, into the central vertical current only as far up as the selected chakra. On each exhale, push pale silver Maharata current out from the central vertical current of the body and into the chakra, imagining that the chakra is progressively turning into a radiant vortex of pale silver light that spins faster and faster. When you begin to feel a bit of warmth, tingling, energy running or itching of the skin at the chakra region, the Q response, use a final inhale breath to draw the image of the symbol down through the chakra into the body and into the tiny crystal seal that links the chakra to the central vertical current. Take a final exaggerated exhale and imagine that you have pushed the energy of the transmitting symbol key out of the chakra into the corresponding level of the auric field. Once imbued into the auric field, the single image of the symbol then replicates automatically and rapidly, creating millions of mini replicas of the symbol within your bioenergetic field. When the Q response sensation at the chakra has completely ceased, you have successfully induced the entire mathematical program of the transmitting symbol into the corresponding kathara center, DNA strand template, axiotonal line, body region and level of consciousness. The magic of Merkaba. Spiritual science teachings of Merkaba mechanics emerge from tile most ancient of times. Record of Merkaba teaching is most often found in obscure traditional occult texts or within New Age ascension teachings. Genuine Merkaba sciences hold the keys to understanding and mastering the processes of both spiritual and physical evolution, on a personal, planetary, galactic and universal level. Merkaba mechanics are not tile product of science fiction, nor are they magical hocus-pocus of occult mysticism. Merkaba mechanics are not magic at all, but rather an intrinsic element of universal primal order. Merkaba fields, sets of star tetrahedron-shaped counterrotating electromagnetic energy fields within and surrounding manifest forms, are simply an inherent element of the 15-dimensional anatomy of form manifestation and the primal order structure of multidimensional creation physics. In the transduction sequence, described in Kathara Level 1, the sequence of energy transmutation by which conscious energy manifests into tangible biological form, the Merkaba field represents the structure and stage of energy dynamics by which primal life force currents pass from the scalar wave template of the embodied Kathara grid levels into tile DNA template. In terms of non-biological form manifestation, all forms possess an inherent structure of interwoven Merkaba fields, through which primal current energy is transmuted from the Kathara grid core scalar template level into tile outer levels of the Kathara grid and axiom line template, upon which the specialized structure of tile form builds up, through particle-antiparticle accretion, into physical manifestation. Merkaba mechanics seem magical only when the inherent laws of nature that govern the dynamics of multidimensional universal unified field physics are not understood. Through understanding genuine universal unified field science, Merkaba fields, and their inherent dynamics, as utilized in the study of Merkaba mechanics, we can realize they are simply recognized as natural elements of the processes inherent to creation physics and the naturally occurring, organic relationships between energy consciousness and the holographic manifestation of form. Merkaba mechanics are also spiritual in that it is through the innate structures and dynamics of creation physics, of which Merkaba mechanics are a natural part, that consciousness enters the manifest arena in tile form of sentient, individuated, multidimensional identity. The body, mind and spirit of every manifest being is formed through and governed by the natural laws of creation physics and primal order. The laws of creation physics and primal order are designed and maintained by and within a non-manifest, intelligent, central consciousness force and source of creation that is commonly referred to as God. God expressed itself in tile form of conscious energy constructs that carry the living spirit and consciousness of God in the form of primal life force currents, which are the foundations for macrocosmic and microcosmic creation and manifestation. Merkaba fields, and the mechanics by which they function, are an indelible part of tile physics of creation and consciousness and are thus intimately involved with tile bio-spiritual processes inherent to spiritual actualization. Merkaba fields, DNA, healing and spiritual actualization. Particles, people, planets, galaxies and universes all have sets of interwoven Merkaba fields that serve as the core primal life force current circulation system between the cosmic, universal, galactic, planetary and personal divine blueprint Kathara grid scalar templates and the manifestation of those blueprints into the tangible structures of matter. Merkaba fields are the carriers of consciousness and the engines of energy by which physically manifest forms are created, maintained, and evolved through the holographic unified field of manifest space-time matter reality. In relation to the processes of personal bio-spiritual healing and spiritual actualization, the personal Merkaba field is an intrinsic aspect of 15-dimensional anatomy that directly governs the function of the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual body systems. The multidimensional structure of the personal Merkaba field is the system of electromagnetic interface by which the primal life force currents and consciousness of God Source and its sentient individuations pass from the Kathara grid core template into the scalar wave DNA template that holds the blueprint for the physical chemical biological DNA. The reality of Merkaba field DNA connection implies that the personal Merkaba field is directly related to the function or dysfunction of the biological genetic code. As the Merkaba field carries the energy of consciousness into the DNA and biological vessel, the Merkaba field DNA connection also implies that the potentialities of consciousness and embodiment of spiritual identity, while a being is ensconced within the time matrix, are dependent upon the condition and function of the personal Merkaba field, DNA template and Kathara grid. Merkaba fields are the carriers of consciousness and the engines of energy by which physically manifest forms are created, maintained and evolved through the holographic unified field of manifest space-time matter reality. Universal Merkaba field structure. Basic Merkaba field structure is relatively simple. Viewed macrocosmically, in a 15-dimensional time matrix there are 15 sets of counter-rotating electromagnetic Merkaba spirals that form 15 universal dimensional Merkaba fields. A Merkaba field is composed of a set of two Merkaba spirals, one electrical transmitting cone, the other magnetic receiving inverted cone. The two cones of the Merkaba spirals, which operate as a white-black hole pair, intersect each other, creating a system of energy vortices that form an elliptical sphere of energy within the center of the intersected Merkaba spirals. The sphere of energy at the center of a Merkaba field is called the form constant. It is a spherical energy domain within which the individuation of consciousness and holographic manifestation projection of form can take place, akin to an energy egg within which manifest reality occurs. Within this sphere of energy, at the center of a Merkaba field, the template blueprints of a form are held constant, allowing conscious particle units, particles, antiparticles and antiparticles to accrete in specific ratios to fill out the form in matter. Within the form constant sphere, consciousness is able to perceive the holographic illusion of externalized spacetime matter manifestation, as the scalar template of the form is held fixed within the sphere. The hologram appears to remain constant within the form constant sphere while consciousness is focused within the frequency bands of which the Merkaba field is composed. On the macrocosmic universal scale, the form constant of each universal dimensional Merkaba field creates a single, elliptical sphere-shaped electromagnetic domain of frequency that represents a single dimension of manifestation. Following the innate mathematical geometrical structure of primal order, the 15 universal dimensional Merkaba fields group into 5 sets of 3-dimensional Merkaba fields, called universal harmonic Merkaba fields. The 3 form constant spheres, from each set of 3 universal dimensional Merkaba fields, form a universal UVA body, or a harmonic universe electromagnetic domain. Following the mathematical primal order program of a time matrix, as held within the universal Kathara grid template and transmitted through the rotation ratios of the harmonic and dimensional Merkaba fields, each of the 3-dimensional levels of a universal UVA body holds the particle units, consciousness and matter particulates, of its dimensional field, into a specific angle and speed of rotation. The 3-dimensional harmonic Merkaba field controls the relationship of particle rotation angle, angular rotation of particle spin or ARPs, and rotation speed between each of the 3-dimensional Merkaba fields, governed by 5 larger 3-dimensional universal harmonic Merkaba fields, all of which circulate consciousness in the form of primal life force currents into and out of the hologram of manifestation. The seeming solidity and durability of an externally manifest matter field in spacetime is created, maintained, perpetuated and completely dependent upon the intrinsic function of the universal Merkaba fields. Within the larger form constant elliptical spheres of the 5 universal UVA bodies of a 15-dimensional time matrix, the holographic perceptual realities of spacetime matter take place. Every being or thing in manifest form enters its reality hologram by taking on the mathematical program of first the universal Kathara grid and 5 universal UVA bodies, which set the life stream or stream of consciousness of primal creation currents in motion, following the specific harmonic Merkaba field's spin ratios characteristic to each harmonic universe system. Galaxies are formed in this way, as individualized expressions of the greater harmonic universe of which they are a part. Universal harmonic and dimensional Merkaba fields govern the birth, evolution, and transmutation of the galaxies within them. Galactic harmonic and dimensional Merkaba fields govern the birth, evolution, and transmutation of star systems and planets within them. Planetary harmonic and dimensional Merkaba fields govern the birth, evolution, and death cycles of the species and matter forms existing upon the planet. The personal Merkaba fields of species and individuals direct the function of the personal DNA template, chemical DNA, and biological genetic code, thus governing the birth, evolution, and transmutation processes of individual organisms. The mathematical geometrical programs of the primal order divine blueprint that govern Merkaba field formation and spin ratios are held within the universal, galactic, planetary, species, and personal kathara grid structures. In a singular 15-dimensional time matrix, the interlinked universal, galactic, and planetary harmonic and dimensional Merkaba fields circulate primal life force currents and consciousness into and out of manifestation in spacetime. The personal Merkaba, Trian Mej field, radial body, and radius. Each individual being receives its life force, consciousness, biology, and manifest hologram through the innate connection between the personal Merkaba field and the Merkaba fields of the planet, galaxy, universe, and time matrix. When the D12 pre-matter divine Christos blueprint is expressing naturally in a planetary system, the organisms on the planet circulate life force currents and consciousness through the physical and spiritual bodies via the personal and planetary Merkaba fields. The planetary Merkaba field circulates life force currents through the personal kathara grid template, morphogenetic field, of the organism via the planetary biofeed interface system. The organism's personal Merkaba field then picks up the energy from the kathara grid and continues to circulate the life force currents from the personal kathara grid into the Maharic shield imprint in the DNA template that is held within the level 1 kathara 12 tree grid, level 2 kathara crystal seals hara grid, and level 3 kathara diotic grid. From the Maharic shield imprint in the kathara grid, the personal Merkaba fields distribute the life force currents and consciousness into the DNA-RNA template and axiom lines. The life force current continues circulation from the DNA-RNA template and axiom lines into the personal uva bodies and auric field, to the chakras and meridian lines. Passing through the meridian lines, the life force current, imbued with the specific mathematical manifestation program picked up from the kathara grid divine blueprint template, then enters a state of final transmutation into three-dimensional particles by passing through an electrostatic repulsion zone barrier that exists surrounding each three-dimensional uva body. The frequency barrier surrounding each three-dimensional uva body forms a thin, skin-like membrane or tissue capsule surrounding each of the 5 uva bodies in the 15-dimensional anatomy. The ova capsule membrane is composed of density 5 primal light antimatter units, called Trian units, that exist in the form of fixed standing columnar scalar light waves made of kalins, or three-dimensional Partiki grids. The Trian units and kalin Partiki grids within them are anchored upon a fixed field template of primal sound units called Mej units, which exist as fixed points of mathematically organized vibration. The outer layer of each uva capsule is called the Trian field, as it is composed of trians, or units of density 5 antimatter primal light. The inner portion of the ova capsule is called the Mej field as it is composed of meants or fixed points of primal sound vibration, from the energy matrix, beyond the holographic manifestation of the time matrix light fields. The collective body of the 5 ova capsules is called the radial body or Trian Mej field. All manifest forms possess a core radial body Trian Mej field uva capsule structure as part of the intrinsic 15-dimensional anatomy. As multidimensional life force currents pass through the meridian lines and into each of the 5 layers of the radial body, the energy currents and the consciousness carried upon them project the mathematical program of the divine blueprint into the trion-Meij field of each of the 5 uva capsules. Within the uva capsule, the individualized raw life force currents enter a system of 3-dimensional energy conduits or rivulets called radis, which are the turnstiles between manifest matter and conscious energy. The radis draw in the life force currents with their manifestation program through the trion-Meij field, then polarize and break up the trion and muons units into negatively and positively charged electrical subunits called muons and dions. Partiki, kalins, muons, trions, muons and dions belong to a category of primal building blocks known as ionic particulates, which are the building blocks of consciousness, energy, light, sound and scalar wave fields that form the blueprints upon which all matter manifests. Trions are electrostatic particulates that have both a negative and positive electrical charge, which renders them neutral or static. They are the foundations of what becomes antimatter, primal light particles of pre-visible gaseous light. Muons are static units of pre-sound standing waves, also possessing neutral electrical charge, that form the primal sound fields of the energy matrix. Within the structures of the radial body radis rivulets, trions and muons are polarized into negative charged muons, base magnetic vibrating pre-sound particulates, foundations of negatively charged particles such as electrons, originating from the universal particle-particum field, and positively charged dions, base electrical oscillating. Pre-light particulates, foundations of positively charged particles such as protons, originating from the universal antiparticle partica field. Together, muons and dions create the electromagnetic ionic particulate base held within the Merkabach form constant through which particles emerge via ionic particulate accretion into tangible matter units. The trion-Meij field radial body of any manifest form represents the 5-density veil through which consciousness as primal life force moves into and out of externalized 3-dimensional manifestation. Merkaba fields are the energy engines and consciousness carriers by which life force and consciousness are circulated between the internal kathara grid scalar template and the trion-Meij field radial body veil as they pass into and out of external expression. The perpetual polarization, electromagnetic expression and depolarization of the life force currents within the Merkaba field form constant electromagnetic domain is the process by which the holographic projection of matter is perpetually brought into and taken out of perceptually experiential being. The radial body trion-Meij field receives, via Merkaba field circulation, the template or design for its particle manifestation from the instructions held in the divine blueprint Maharic shield and DNA template of the kathara grid. Manifestation instructions pass from the kathara grid to the DNA template via the Merkaba field, then continue into the energy circulation systems, axiom lines, of bodies, chakras, meridians, that deliver the instructions to the radial body for particulate manifestation. In biological life forms, the radial body and radis then translate the scalar wave blueprint of the DNA template and kathara grid into the polarized ionic particulate muon-dion subunits, which accrete following the DNA template instructions to form subatomic, atomic, molecular, chemical DNA, physical matter form the vehicles of embodied consciousness. The Merkaba field also receives its instructions for energy circulation from the kathara grid and DNA template. Radial body transduction, manifestation sequence. 1. From the planetary Merkaba field, via the planetary shield, axiom lines, of a body's vortices, meridian lines and radial bodies, rhythmic pulses of conscious primal life force currents enter the species and personal kathara grid core template as primal units of partiki. 2. Within the kathara grid template, the partiki units pick up the mathematical geometrical program from the Maharic shield divine blueprint template, polarize to form particum and partika units, then accrete to form 3-dimensional electromagnetic partiki grids called kalins. The kalins group together mathematically, forming complex templates of crystallized kalin codes, or kalin thought crystals which create a mathematically encoded 3-dimensional morphogenetic field kalin thought form field or morphogenetic kalin crystal grid, carrying the manifestation blueprint program of the Maharic shield. 3. As the primal life force currents of the electromagnetic Kalan crystal grid interact with each other, following the program of the D12 pre-matter universal divine blueprint, they form sets of spiraling electromagnetic vortices called Merkaba fields, which carry the Maharic shield Kathara grid blueprint program into formation of the DNA-RNA template Kalan crystal grid. 4. From the DNA-RNA template, held in the Kathara grid, primal life force current carries the Kalan crystal grid of the blueprint into the axiom lines, Ava bodies, auric field, chakra and meridian line systems, finally carrying the Kalan crystal grid of the divine blueprint into the 5 radial body tissue capsule level. 5. Within the 5 levels of the radial body, the incoming Kalan crystal grid translates into electrostatic trion primal pre-light units, gaseous pre-light antimatter, and muons primal pre-sound units, units of vibrating pre-sound energy, that possess a neutral electrical charge. The encoded primal life force currents are converted into a trion-Meij field blueprint replica, a primal light sound translation of the original blueprint. 6. The encoded primal life force currents then travel, as the encoded trion-Meij field, into the Radis lines in each of the 5 levels of the radial body. The Radis lines first replicate and store the mathematical blueprint encoding of the trion-Meij field, then polarize the neutrally changed trion-Meij units into electromagnetic units called muon, dot, and dion, plus, ionic particulates. The replicated trion-Meij field blueprint part of the primal pre-sound vibration Meij field inner layer of the radial body trion-Meij field, serving as a living memory matrix composed of muons units primal pre-sound vibration. The polarized muon-dion unit become the foundation upon which the strong and weak nuclear force, electromagnetism, quarks, muons, subatomic particles, and antiparticles form. Particum-based muons, base magnetic, become particles, negative electrical charge units like electrons and sound spectra. Partica-based dions become antiparticles, positive electrical charge units like protons and light spectra. 7. Blueprint encoded primal life force currents in the form of muon-dion fields. Then translate the original Kathara grid blueprint into quarks, muons, mesons, subatomic and atomic particles and antiparticles, which accrete according to the blueprint to form molecules, elements, chemicals, the chemical DNA blueprint and the physically manifest body form. As this occurs, the body image flashes on into manifestation as a pulse of life force consciousness, carrying the chemically translated holographic image of the body form template blueprint. This pulse of consciousness continues to expand from the Kathara grid and DNA via the transduction sequence, through and beyond manifestation of the body image and into projection of portions of the dimensional unified field that holographically translate into individualized experience within a perceived common planetary time rhythm and matter field. 8. The physical body form serves as a chemical lens, through which portions of the dimensional unified field are perceived by the embodied consciousness as a 3-dimensional hologram. As the primal life force currents continually carry pulse of the individuated consciousness through the transduction sequence from the Kathara grid, through the DNA, to the manifest chemical lens of the physical body structure and holographic external reality field projection. 9. As a Kalan thought form blueprint traveling on one pulse of consciousness fully expands into the manifest externalized hologram, another pulse of consciousness is released from the synchronized mathematical programs of the planetary Merkaba field, which sets the transduction sequence in motion for the next portion of the personal mathematical blueprint. The blueprint of the planetary Kathara grid regulates the cyclic rhythms at which pulse S of life force current will be released through the planetary Merkaba field. The planet releases pulse S of time. 10. As one pulse of time, or consciousness, brings its blueprint into manifest critical mass expansion, fully activated specific portions of the blueprint in holographic expression, the planetary Merkaba field releases the next incoming pulse of time, which carries the next portion of the Kathara grid mathematical blueprint into the transduction sequence. As the new pulse enters the transduction sequence and begins expansion toward manifestation, the first pulse of the fully expanding hologram begins contraction, entering a back return through the reverse transduction sequence. Matter chemical DNA sub-atomic units Radis Mayan Dion units radial body Trion Meons units meridian lines chakra auric field uva body axiom lines DNA template Merkaba field morphogenetic thought form field Kalan grids and units Maharic shield template and Kathara grid. Partika and Particum units planetary Merkaba field Partiki units 11. As Pulse 1 contracts its hologram program moving backward through the transduction sequence, creating the remembered past moment, the Pulse 2 simultaneously expands its hologram program, moving forward through the transduction sequence, birthing the as-yet-to-come future moment. The backward-moving past Pulse 1 and forward-moving future Pulse 2 intersect at the radial body levels, in the transduction sequence. This past pulse future pulse intersection point is called the ER-on point, also known as zero point, the present moment of conscious focus, within the hologram, or the Eros conscious, breathing life force stream, also referred to as the stream of consciousness, the living Holy Spirit or the breath of God. 12. The 0 point, or Eros, is the present moment of creation power for the manifest conscious identity. It exists at the position where the third-dimensional field, the electromagnetic resonant tone mental body field of a single three-dimensional UVA body, intersects with the Meech field inner layer of the corresponding radial body tissue capsule. 13. As the backward-moving past pulse 1 and the forward-moving future pulse 2 intersect at the radial body Meech layer Eros, the returning contracting pulse 1 passes through the Trion layer and into the Meon's blueprint replica, called a radial tile that it left behind in the Meej layer Eros, during Pulse 1's incoming passage. Just as the returning Pulse 1 retreats back through its radial tile, the incoming Pulse 2, carrying the next blueprint coding, simultaneously passes through the first radial tile, combining the past radial tile, mathematical vibrational blueprint, with the incoming Pulse 2 blueprint. At this moment point, the hologram template from the post moment is adopted by the incoming future moment Pulse 2 and expanded by the Pulse 2 blueprint. 14. As Pulse 2 picks up the Pulse 1 radial tile, the retreating Pulse 1, which now holds the radial tile blueprint in reverse mathematical sequence as Trion pre-light units, collides with the incoming Pulse 2. Both pulses carry the common blueprint of the first radial tile, the incoming pulse point 2, holding the blueprint and forward mathematical sequence as Meon's pre-sound units, the retreating pulse 1, holding the blueprint in reverse mathematical sequence as Trion pre-light units. As the expanding advancing and contracting retreating pulses collide with the blueprint sequence and anti-sequence, the pulse L reversed Trion radial anti-tile fuses with the original Meon's radial tile and both radial tile and anti-tile completely demanifest or ascend from their original harmonic universe by transmuting to become a Merkaba field. The energy consciousness, once held by the radial tile anti-tile, then replicates its original blueprint via fission, leaves a dormant memory imprint Meon's replica in the radial body Meech field and reappears in faster oscillating form, within the corresponding UVA body form constant of the next harmonic universe up in the dimensional scale. 15. As transmutation of the past radial tile occurs in the radial body Eros, the incoming pulse 2 is momentarily held static as it leaves a new radial tile in the Meej field. The new radial tile holds the pulse 1 and pulse 2 program. At this moment point, the entire externalized hologram literally flashes of and demanifests, its energy held in suspension within the radial body Trion Meej field. When the first radial tile is transmuted, the incoming pulse 2, carrying an expanded imprint of the first radial tile, progresses from the Meej field Eros to Trion field, then begins to flash on its blueprint in manifestation. The embodied self perceives a linear moment progression, the Pulse 1 program becomes memory of the past moment, Pulse 2 the present. The radial body, mechanics of manifestation, healing and human potential. There is much more to be revealed regarding the subject of the mechanics of manifestation. Our introduction to the radial body anatomy, the transduction sequence and the mechanics of manifestation represents a beginning in the quest for genuine mastery over the manifest experience. In this Kathara Level 2 introduction, we will not yet address the highly pertinent aspects of manifestation mechanics that pertain to direct creation of matter and events through conscious thought projection and applied personal will intention, nor will we yet investigate the complex realities of space-time travel, Stargate passage and the spiritualized science of ascension. All of these subjects, and more, are intimately intertwined with personal healing and the imprint for health, attaining mastery over manifestation mechanics and the bio-spiritual processes of genuine spiritual actualization. All of these abilities, and many others too numerous to mention, presently exist as dormant evolutionary potentials for the human species, potentials that were once, long ago, fully actualized and commonly expressed. The Kathara Bio-Spiritual Healing System represents a body of master teachings that focus upon the manifestation and maintenance of holistic health through bio-spiritual mastery and spiritual actualization. Exploration of subjects such as Merkaba mechanics, manifestation mechanics, and the radial body Trian-Mej field is an intrinsic part of furthering our abilities to embody and practice the ideals of healing and health through holism. Before we can begin to actualize the exciting potentials of freedom, love, power, and knowledge that await human rediscovery, we must first focus upon healing the obstacles that have long stood in our way of actualizing true human potential. Our study of Merkaba mechanics, in this Kathara Level 2 introduction, has included a necessary introduction to manifestation mechanics and radial body anatomy. The greatest physical and spiritual difficulties presently facing humankind emerge from a hidden illness that has held our species hostage within a progressively deteriorating, unnatural mortal body form. The underlying cause of all human illness is an unnatural genetic mutation that manifests through the DNA template and chemical DNA. The causal element of this species' genetic deviation from its original divine blueprint can only be found through study of the 15-dimensional anatomy, primal life force currents, Kathara grid, Maharic shield, Merkaba field, DNA template, the radial body and the intimate interplay that perpetually exists between these interwoven systems. It is precisely this species' genetic deviation, which has progressed and increased for over 200,000 years, that has kept humanity bound to a finite, limited world, unable to express the potentials that once existed as our birthright. Though the problem of this species' internal illness is multi-faceted and highly complex, the solutions through which progressive healing of the human genome can be rendered are relatively simple. The solutions for healing and restoring health to our species and ourselves require familiarity with basic Kathara grid, manifestation template, radial body, DNA template, and Merkaba mechanics. These are the elements of our 15-dimensional anatomy within which the causal element of our genetic deviation is held, and thus these are the elements of our anatomy through which the most rapid and permanent healing solutions can be rendered. In the following pages, we will continue our investigation of the transduction sequence and the miasmic body, in order to identify the regions of our 15-dimensional anatomy in which our hidden genetic mutations are created, stored, and perpetuated. Once we can identify the regions in which the greatest healing is needed, we can then directly employ appropriate remedial measures. Working with the core Kathara grid and Maharic shield divine Christos blueprint to reset the imprint for health, which is Kathara Level 1, while simultaneously working with the elements of our anatomy within which the most significant remedial measures are needed, will allow us to use divine blueprint technology to implement expedited healing. In this Kathara Level 2 introduction, we will examine the transduction manifestation sequence and how its present malfunction creates the miasmic body, which created the DNA template distortion through which our chemical DNA mutation and a phenomenon known as the phantom or shadow self is brought into being within our manifest hologram. We will then continue our exploration of Merkaba mechanics and radial body healing applications to discover the secrets of the Vika codes and photosonic and photoradionic radial body healing technologies, through which our kathara and Merkabic healing applications can be tremendously intensified, amplified, and expedited. The 5 radial body UVA capsule Trion-Meij field levels. Nadial capsule, also called telluric capsule, composed of dimensions 1 to 3 telluric kundalini current frequency, density 1 Trion-Meij gross matter density, 3-dimensional Nethra phase Merkaba, surrounds Nada ova body, corresponds to DNA strand templates, axiotonal lines and chakras 1 to 3 and holds focus of consciousness in the D1 lower physical atomic, D2 lower telluric emotional elemental and D3 lower mental taurenic bodies of the embodied density 1 incarnate personality Tauran identity. The subconscious, instinctual and ego reasoning aspects of the moral mind and the personal taurenic memory matrix. Radis rivulets are called Nadis lines, or telluratus lines. Duratic capsule, composed of dimensions 4 to 6 duratic kundalini current frequency, density 2 Trion-Meij semi-etheric matter density, 6-dimensional Hala phase Merkaba, surrounds alpha ova body, corresponds to DNA strand templates, axiotonal lines and chakras 4 to 6 and holds focus of consciousness in the D4 astral mid-physical atomic, D5 archetypal mid-telluric emotional elemental and D6 celestial mid-mental duratic bodies of the embodied density 2 incarnate soul door identity, the angelic mind and the soul species akashic memory matrix. Radis rivulets are called duratic lines. Turic capsule, composed of dimensions 7 to 9 turic kundalini current frequency, density 3 Trion-Meij etheric matter density, 9-dimensional quatra phase Merkaba, surrounds Betya ova body, corresponds to DNA strand templates, axiotonal line and chakras 7-9 and holds focus of consciousness in the D7 higher physical catharic, D8 monadic higher telluric emotional elemental and D9 chariatric higher mental metatronic bodies of the embodied density 3 incarnate over soul Tura identity, the archangelic mind and the over soul planetary akashic memory matrix. Radis rivulets are called Turadis lines. Maharic capsule, composed of dimensions 10 to 12 Maharic Christos pre-matter hydroplasmic liquid light primal current frequency, density for Trion-Meij pre-matter density, 12-dimensional Mahanta phase Merkaba, surrounds Mahara ova body, corresponds to DNA strand templates, axiotonal lines and chakras 1 to 3 and holds focus of consciousness in the D10 Christiac transcendent pre-physical, D11 Buddhaic transcendent pro-telluric emotional elemental and D12 nirvanic transcendent pro-mental hydronic bodies of the embodied density for incarnate avatar Dolus identity, the Christos avatar mind and the avatar galactic dolaric memory matrix. Radis rivulets are called Maharadis lines. Rishiak capsule, composed of dimensions 13 to 15 Ki Ra She antimatter thermoplasmic gaseous pre-light primal current frequency, density 5 Trion-Meij antimatter density, 15-dimensional Rahunta phase Merkaba, surrounds Raja ova body, corresponds to indigo grail line DNA strand templates, axiotonal lines and chakras 13 to 15, and holds focus of consciousness in the D13 to 15. Transcendent antimatter hadronic bodies of the density 5 Brahmua Rishi consciousness collective identity, the Rishiak universal mind and the Rishi universal memory matrix of 115-dimensional time matrix. Radis rivulets are called Rishadis lines. The 5 3-dimensional levels of the Trion-Meij field radial body within the 15-dimensional time matrix connect each density level of all manifest consciousness to the greater, non-dimensionalized structure of the energy matrix Kundare primal sound vibration Meij field through the density 5 antimatter Ki Ra She primal light Trion field. Merkaba, the radial body Merkaba vehicle, ascension and healing. The personal radial body or Trion-Meij field is composed of 5 UVA body capsules that manifest as electromagnetic barriers or frequency fences between each set of 3 DNA strand templates, each set of 3 associated axiom lines, chakras, and meridians, and between each three-dimensional layer of the auric field and corresponding level of personal multidimensional identity. Each of the 5 three-dimensional harmonic Merkaba fields corresponding to the 5 uva bodies of 15-dimensional anatomy governs the function of the corresponding dimensional Merkaba fields, radial body level, and its embedded memory matrix, via the mathematical program held in the personal kathara grid, shields, and crystal body template. The kathara grid program is passed from the chelantic crystal body into the DNA template via the dimensional and harmonic Merkaba fields and the mini Merkaba fields of the level 3 kathara diotic grid. Each uva capsule radial body level, receiving its instructions from the DNA template and third-dimensional mental body uva body level, in TUM governs the function of the chemically manifest DNA and all body consciousness systems that are built upon chemical genetic code. The harmonic Merkaba field governs the particle spin axis, angular rotation of particle spin, ratios of the energy units that make up its corresponding three-dimensional system. Each harmonic Merkaba field corresponds to one uva body, one set of 3 dimensions, and the matter density level characteristic of that three-dimensional system. Each uva body, and thus each harmonic Merkaba field level and radial body level, corresponds to one set of 3 DNA strand templates within the human 12-strand template. Full activation of one harmonic Merkaba field creates reciprocal activation of the corresponding set of 3 DNA strand templates, which creates embodiment of corresponding levels of identity and consciousness, personality, soul, oversoul, avatar, rishi. When one harmonic Merkaba field fully activates, through natural activation of the corresponding shields and crystal body kalins, the harmonic Merkaba field becomes capable of merging with the harmonic Merkaba fields from other density levels, in a process frequently called transmutative dimensional ascension. During the process of ascension, also called space-time travel, wave riding, stargate passage, and teleportation, the harmonic Merkaba fields of more than one density level merge, progressively shifting the 2 or more different sets of 3-dimensional particles into a common particle spin axis angle and spin speed. The corresponding axiom lines, uva bodies, auric fields levels, chakras, meridian lines, and radial body levels also merge. When harmonic Merkaba fields and their corresponding inner templar anatomy merge, the fire codes between the corresponding DNA strand template activate, causing the DNA strand templates to merge, which creates a reciprocal reaction called DNA strand braiding between corresponding chemical DNA strands. The double helix configuration of one strand remains, as the chemical components of each strand overlay together to become a single double helix, containing the chemical programs of multiple DNA strands. When the fire codes between strands in the DNA template activate, dormant sequences of chemical DNA called transient turnstile DNA sequences tum on within the hydrogen bonds that link each DNA ladder rung together, producing a transient trans-harmonic element called celestaline within the chemical DNA. Natural braiding of the chemical DNA strands and activation of the chemical turnstile DNA sequences creates a series of subatomic biochemical DNA responses that allows for internal atomic particle-antiparticle fusion and fission. Natural internal atomic fusion fission enables the manifest atomic structure to temporarily demanifest, returning to spirit form, by re-entering the electrostatic trion-Meij field of the corresponding radial body levels. During the ascension process, the harmonic Merkaba fields of 2 or more density levels merge, forming various phases of Merkaba activation that create a trans-harmonic Merkaba field that is called the Merkaba vehicle. The 3-dimensional Nethra phase Merkaba field of density 1 accelerates in rotation speed to become the 6-dimensional Hala phase, 9-dimensional Quatra phase, 12-dimensional Mahunta phase or 15-dimensional Rahunta phase harmonic Merkaba vehicle. As a phase of the transharmonic Merkaba vehicle activates, the corresponding tower dimensional uva body and radial body level dissolve, their content of energy and consciousness expanding into the next uva body and radial body level, forming a transharmonic radial body form constant within the Merkaba vehicle. The transharmonic radial body and Merkaba vehicle allow the consciousness and biological form to demanifest from the lower dimensional density level. The identity can then remanifest in another density level or space-time coordinate by projecting itself into the desired location, as the electrostatic Trion-Meech field transharmonic radial body, then returning the DNA template activation level and harmonic Merkaba spin ratios to that of the new location for remanifestation. When the personal Merkaba field is used to form the transharmonic radial body in the process of ascension, the Merkaba field is called a Merkaba vehicle. A Merkaba vehicle is an electrostatic Trion-Meech field of primal pre-light sound, through which the consciousness, aka spirit, can move itself, and its atomic structure, through thought projection, to a desired location beyond the veils of the planetary, galactic and universal OVA capsule radial body form constant barriers. Conscious mastery of the personal Merkaba field, through which the organic internally created Merkaba vehicle transharmonic radial body becomes available for conscious direction, implies conscious control of the DNA template function. The potentialities of genuine ascension and mastery of the bio-spiritual consciousness are inborn attributes of the human 12-strand DNA template. Due to a species de-evolutionary genetic mutation that compromises natural function of the personal Merkaba field and DNA, the reality of ascension on a species level has been lost to all but a few on Earth for over 200,000 years. Ref. Master's Templar Coursebook. The potentials of bio-spiritual actualization can be returned to humankind through reverse mutation of genetic dysfunction within the human genome and DNA template. Healing the genetic template can be achieved by manually employing specific practices of kathara Maharic shield core template dynamics in combination with harmonic Merkaba mechanics, through which the many eons of biological miasmic distortion can be progressively and rapidly cleared from the personal kathara grid and DNA template. Restoration of the D12 pre-matter divine blueprint within the human kathara grid and DNA template will eventually free the personal Merkaba field for use as a transharmonic Merkaba vehicle. Kathara healing applications and use of the D12 pre-matter Maharata Christos current to reset the biological D12 pre-matter divine blueprint are the beginning steps in reclaiming bio-spiritual mastery. The functions of the personal Merkaba field and DNA template are not only associated with abilities of atomic transmutation and dimensional ascension, they are directly linked to every aspect of body-mind-spirit function, including biological longevity and health, memory, intelligence, and metabolic, chemical, mental and emotional balance and stability. Most significantly, the Merkaba field connection is the bio-spiritual conduit through which the consciousness of an embodied individual is directly linked to the common perpetual force of energy and eternal source of intelligent creation that is God. When a being's Merkaba field and DNA template are functioning upon the innate program of universal primal order, as it is held within the pre-matter universal divine blueprint of the D12 Christos liquid light field, the natural and perpetual supply of primal life force currents and spiritual consciousness emanating eternally from Source God flow through an open energetic channel or pillar of light, which is called the Shaddai Ur, which is pillar of first cause light sound, into the manifest embodiment. Such a being is called a Christ being. This implies that the integrity of its original D12 pre-matter divine blueprint has not been structurally compromised, and thus the perpetual life force currents, consciousness, sentience, intelligence, wisdom, power, will and love of Source can freely express through the Shaddai Ur into the manifest hologram of the time matrix, through the Christ embodiment. If the Kathara grid, DNA template and Merkaba field of a being are damaged and no longer carry the original mathematical geometrical program of the D12 divine blueprint, through which the being entered space-time, the flow of primal life force currents, the Shaddai Ur pillar and thus the active consciousness connection to God will be distorted, reduced or severed at the dimensional level to which the template distortion corresponds. A manifest being incapable of running the primal life force currents of the Shaddai Ur pillar becomes biologically finite, its consciousness trapped in the time matrix, even following death of the physical body. Due to the natural laws of creation physics, as set by Source God, this condition of finite mortality will remain until the being's Kathara grid template and Merkaba field connection to the D12 Universal Divine Christos blueprint and Universal Triune Mej field Umshadayur pillar are restored. Healing core template genetic distortions that are severe enough to cause dysfunction of the personal Merkaba field first requires resetting of the D12 Divine Blueprint through activation of the personal Maharic shield. Until the body-mind-spirit system has reached a critical mass of D12 Divine Blueprint holding, through frequent and progressive manual running of the D12 Maharata current, healing core template genetic distortions also requires simultaneous, direct and repeated manual realignment and restoration of personal Merkaba field function and radial body Triune Mej field integrity. If there are distortions within the Kathara grid or DNA template of an individual or species, the personal Merkaba fields will not function in harmony with the natural energy circulation rhythms of the planetary, galactic, universal and time matrix Merkaba fields and universal Kathara grid. Such Kathara grid distortions create tangible genetic and consciousness mutation within biological organisms and can divert the intended evolutionary destiny of an embodied consciousness or species onto a divergent path of de-evolution and consciousness fragmentation, unintended by the original plan encoded within the D12 pre-matter Christos divine blueprint. Distortions within the DNA template and resulting miasms can be purged through manual resetting of the D12 pre-matter divine blueprint via repeated manual activation of the personal Maharic shield. The activated Maharic shield runs the density for D12 Maharata primal life force Christos current through the Kathara grid and form embodiment, progressively resetting the original mathematical coding of the personal divine blueprint within the Kathara grid and DNA template. Use of the Maharic shield techniques in Kathara level 1 sets this process of core template regeneration in motion. The core template divine blueprint healing process can be expedited through applied Christos Merkabic healing mechanics such as the tribal shield activation, Technique 7, Merkaba salutation, Technique 8, Merkaba Trinity key induction, Technique 9, and the key Rache activation sequence, Technique 12. Divine blueprint healing can be expedited further through manual restoration of the personal Triune Mej field radial body and its inherent memory matrix. Radial body healing, when combined with Kathara Maharic shield and Christos Merkabic healing dynamics, is the most powerful and rapid holistic healing technology available. Radial body healing dynamics, which also serve to progressively restore the organic memory matrix, involve use of the specific mathematical programs that govern formation of the radial body Triune Mej field. These mathematical programs are called Vika codes. Technique 10, Restoring the Triune Field Photoradionic Healing, and Technique 11, Restoring the Mej Field Photosonic Healing, provide introduction to radial body healing mechanics. Use of these techniques, in combination with Technique 2, the Maharic seal and liquid light cleanse in Merkabic healing techniques 6 to 12, will greatly expedite the personal healing process while significantly increasing the body-mind-spirit abilities to receive, hold, sustain, and transmit greater quantity and quality of interdimensional frequency in the client healing facilitation process. Radial body healing, the Vika codes, DNA, and Merkaba. Vika codes, also called the I Am or Imanuyana sequence, are very specific symbol codes, each possessing corresponding sound tones called aryas and energy movements called suryas, which correspond to the cosmic, universal, galactic, planetary, and personal Triune Mej field radial body levels. There are 5 categories of Vika codes: the planetary low Vika codes of Manu, which is Tauranic Akashic codes, the galactic mid Vika codes of Imanu, which is Akashic codes, the universal level 1 high Vika codes of Emmanuel, which are Dalaric Rishik codes, the cosmic level 2 high Vika codes of Imanuyana, which are triadic polaric Akkadic codes, and the Godseed Unisai codes of Akasha, which is the source codes. Beginning applications of Vika code radial body healing begin with restoring the Triune Mej field radial body, through resetting the Unisai Akasha and high Vika Imanuyana and Emmanuel codes, through frequent manual direct induction of their corresponding symbol codes and sound tones, or areas. The most powerful Unisayekosha codes are photosonic codes, carrying the mathematical programs of the Kundare current primal sound Mij field and their bridging Godseed vibration rhythms connecting to source. The Level 2 Imanuyana and Level 1 Emmanuel High Vika codes are photoradionic codes, carrying the mathematical programs of the Trion Mij field Kundare primal sound and Ki Ra She primal light currents. Consistent use of Vika code radial body healing, in combination with Merkabic and Kathara healing applications, will progressively clear the miasmic body and heal, balance, reintegrate and restore the divine blueprint within the energies of the phantom shadow self in all levels of the body-mind-spirit system. More advanced applications of Vika code technologies include use of the mid-Vika Imanu and low-Vika Manu codes and the corresponding Suryas, body movements to direct frequency, following a period of initial induction and activation of the Unisai and High Vika codes. Full-spectrum Vika code technologies are introduced in the Dance for Life Masters Spiritual Development Program. Induction or embedding of the high Vika codes into the 15-dimensional anatomy involves placing the corresponding symbol code sequence, mathematical program, over the regions of the physical body that correspond to the appropriate aspects of the Kathara Level 2 crystal seals grids and Level 3 diotic grid. Once the symbol is in place, the breath is used to direct D12 Maharata current through each symbol code and body region. Use of the Maharata current carrier wave, via activation of the Maharic shield, is required to induce the code's mathematical program into the diotic and crystal seals grids, where the program will then naturally transfer into the corresponding areas of the Level 1 Kathara 12 tree grid core template. Once the high Vika and Ekasha code sequences are embedded into the Level 1 Kathara grid, they are then activated in the Kathara grid by toning the corresponding Vika code area sequence. The longer toning is sustained, the greater will be the quantity and quality of Vika code activation. Once activated, the Vika code programs travel upward through the stages of the transduction manifestation sequence from the Kathara grid to the shields, into the Kalan crystal body morphogenetic field, then into the Merkaba field, DNA template and Uva body, temporarily restoring the Christiac Merkaba field, radial body and memory matrix divine blueprint. Frequent and continued use of the Vika codes will progressively build critical mass of the divine blueprint program simultaneously within all levels of the 15-dimensional anatomy, eventually culminating in expedited full restoration of the D12 Maharic shield blueprint within the body-mind-spirit system, via the radial body Trion Mij field. Activation of the Unisai and High Vika codes within the personal body prior to conducting a Kathara client healing session will cause the facilitator's Level 3 diotic grid to activate, temporarily transmitting Vika code subharmonics. This will cause the minute diotic chakras in the facilitator's finger tips to activate if the palm chakras have been activated with either pure Maharata current or a selected triadic phase current. The facilitator will then automatically transmit Vika code subharmonics into the client's diotic grid, while conducting general Kathara healing applications, allowing the client to benefit from temporary radial body healing support, which will amplify the effects of all healing applications. A more temporary embedding and activation of the Vika codes program can be achieved through optical pineal induction, whereby the eyes are focused for a time upon the image of the symbol code. The mathematical Vika code program enters the pineal seals through the optical currents and 6th chakra, and then travels for induction through the central vertical current into the body regions and crystal seals grid areas to which the Vika code corresponds. The Vika tones are then used to activate the embedded Vika code sequence. In optical pineal induction, the Vika program loses a bit of frequency charge during its travel in the central vertical current. This creates a more temporary embedding and activation of the Vika codes than that which is achieved through direct induction. Optical pineal induction is useful for DALI amplification of the Vikas and for Kathara healing client sessions and planetary grid site work, when used in combination with the full induction procedure employed at least once per week. To receive full benefit of Vika code radial body healing applications, Technique 12 the Ki Ra She activation sequence should be fully run at least one time. Technique 12 can also be used occasionally thereafter if desired to create intensification and amplification of the primal life force currents during kathara, Merkabic and Vika code healing technologies. Frequent use of Technique 13. The Song of Lyra Christos invocation will amplify all kathara, Merkabic and Vika code radial body healing applications. Technique 10. Restoring the Trion field photoradionic healing. Exercise 1. Once per day, do Maharic Insta-Seal. Then practice each set of Vika tones separately while fixating visual focus on corresponding Vika code symbol. Spend at least 3 or 4 minutes gazing at each symbol, optical pineal induction, while toning corresponding tones, core template vibrational induction. With practice, this will progressively expand the personal consciousness while activating the personal Christos Trion Mej field of your Christos Rishiak ascended master identity levels within the cellular structure. Exercise 2. Once per week, directly after completing Exercise 1, place all Vika code symbols over designated body areas, activate Maharic Shield, breathe D12 Maharata current through each symbol and body area to induce code, using the Bai Tri Ku O Ha Ra sequence, then begin toning the corresponding tones following the Bai Tri Ku O Ha Ra sequence. Memorize the tone sequence of the 5 high Vika codes as if it were a song and relax, close eyes and sing this song for 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you tone, the more frequency power you build within the body and the stronger your link will be to the universal Christos, Trion Mej field. This exercise can also be used with groups either singularly to create and amplify Christos Trion Mej field links or just prior to beginning RRT work. Frequent and consistent use of these two exercises will progressively develop the spin rate capacity of the personal Christos Merkaba field, while expanding higher consciousness within the body and progressively enhancing the health, immunity and integrity of the mind-body-spirit system. Technique 11. Restoring the Mej field photosonic healing. 1. Use Technique 6. The Maharic Quick Seal, to activate your Maharic Shield and Maharata current. 2. Stare at image of the Akasha code for a few seconds. Then gently begin to cross eyes until you can see a double image of the Akasha when looking at the image. Hold eye cross focus while taking 3 rapid breaths, on each exhale projecting a stream of D6 indigo current from your 6th third eye chakra at forehead. This braids D6 optical currents into a D12 current to carry the Akasha program into the pineal seals. Uncross eyes, relax visual focus and close eyes for a moment or two. 3. Inhale several breaths of pale sliver D12 Maharata current up from the earth core through your Maharic cord, on each exhale depositing the Maharata current in the pineal gland at the center of the brain, to form a pale silver Maharata ball LN the pineal. 4. Breathe gently and return visual focus to the image of the Akasha, focusing upon the Akasha core Riyush, which is the double circles and their content at center of Akasha. 5. Exhale while projecting a stream of indigo current from the 6th chakra at the forehead into the Riyush symbol before your eyes. Inhale while drawing the indigo current stream with the Riyush image at its end back through the 6th chakra and into the Maharata ball in the pineal. 6. Inhale one more breath of Maharata current up from earth core to the Maharata ball at the pineal, then use a forceful exhale to push Ekashuri Yush encoded Maharata bailout to the right, to the mentor position over the right shoulder. Visualize the Maharata ball growing to the size of a basketball over the right shoulder, and visualize the image of the Riyush is expanding to fill the inside of the Maharata ball. 7. Inhale forcefully while drawing the Maharata ball back to a position centered around your head, then use 3 breaths to inhale Maharata current up from Earth's core to pineal and exhale the Maharata current outward to fill and expand the Maharata ball. 8. Visualize the Maharata ball expanding outward from around your head, until the Maharata 8 all fully encompasses your body and entire chakra system, from chakra 14, 36 foot above head to chakra 13 in earth core. Imagine that your entire body is now surrounded by a 3-dimensional Akasha teardrop-shaped clear crystal capsule. The Akasha Code photosonic capsule is now temporarily activated in your inner Templar system. The end. This audiobook was created, edited, produced and recorded by Itai Byron. Thank you for listening.